welcome in everyone to episode 192 of the HurricaneKaz podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng. Back with the whole gang here for the new season. I see Mittens as well.
He's here. He's excited for the move updates.
Oh man, he's stressed too. Yeah, we were just talking about this before we started recording, but it's getting a little chilly in parts of the country, including here in LA. I mean, not actually, but 54 degrees in LA.
I was going to say, what do you consider chilly?
That's exactly what I said.
I know. But 54 is respectable, right? To be chilly.
Yes.
Like, you can't walk out in a t-shirt and short. I mean, you could, but it's not going to feel great.
Yes.
But is it cold in your area, Tristan?
It's not too bad right now. It's like 47 degrees here. We had like a really cold spell.
I mean,
it's
chilly.
We had a really cold spell. Like, I think, when was that? Like late January or early February, where we were like down in like the 20s to 30s most of the time. And it was like really annoying because like I'm not used to it being quite that cold, so like it kept like catching me off guard and needing to like scrape my car before going places because like I'm not used to that happening very often.
Shouldn't it be like coldest over your way because you're like northest? Is that not how it works?
I mean,
it's pretty warm in Pacific Northwest actually.
I wouldn't say
like compared to like New York and
warm.
stuff.
I think it's more so that it kind of stays the same. I don't think you guys get as many like as much variance is what I hear.
I mean, yeah. So generally speaking, it's going to be colder here than it is where Caleb or Kaz are. But like, as far as like northern places in North America, like the Pacific Northwest is like a fairly moderate climate where like it doesn't typically get too cold in the winter and it doesn't get too hot in the summer. So like I know you don't know Fahrenheit super well, Steve, but like nice. I don't know the Celsius.
Actually, thank you very much. Minus 32 times 5 nights. Very simple.
All right, well,
times 5.
I'll let you do the math, but like,
yeah.
Usually, Seattle in the winter is like between like 40 and 50 degrees, and then in the summer it's usually between like 65 and 75 degrees. So like, it's nice in that regard where like we don't have to deal with those extreme temperatures on either end. Like I know like Seattle Go Fest was super nice because it didn't get that hot compared to like a lot of the other Go Fests.
Oh my gosh, that was my favorite Go Fest of all time too.
Yeah,
versus like a lot of the other Go Fests are so freaking hot. Like I saw they're doing Osaka Go Fest this year at the same park, and I'm just like, that park was miserable. That park was miserable. Because it was so hot, it was so humid, and there was like no
at least I got a good
shade.
city experience.
I know. I was like, if I went to that, I would probably just skip the park and just play city experience because that park was just not a fun time.
I just go to the park to finish like the quests and then maybe do some trades.
I mean, that was a complaint that I had when I went to New York Go Fest as well. There's just like not enough shade at all, you know?
No, there wasn't. Yeah. I saw a few people like almost pass out from heat exhaustion. Actually, because I was in the coaching tent area, so I'd like offer them some like ice and water and stuff to like. I mean, it's technically for the coaches, but I was like, I don't want you to pass out.
Right, of course.
Here.
Yeah, I gotta take care of people.
Yeah. Anyway, we are in the new season. Wait, what's the temperature like for you, Steve? Convert it for us because the math is so easy, right?
I'll times it by 9/5 and then add 32.
Yeah, he's definitely using mental math right now, not typing right now into a calculator.
Actually, I was typing in to find out what the temperature was because
I know because I kept looking at you looking down, and so I was like, "There's no way you're doing this mentally." No.
It's in like I don't know what it is in Celsius. Like, I've got no clue. It's like 70-ish at the moment. It's been raining, so usually it's been really hot, and then it comes to when it rains. And then it's like a bit cooler for a bit, and then like later today it's going to ramp back up and it'll be more like I don't know, probably not 100 Fahrenheit, but it probably
the temperature in Australia is kind of nuts. I remember so distinctly how it dropped like 20 degrees Fahrenheit in the span of 30 minutes. It was like the craziest thing.
To be fair, it's not really an Australia thing. That really happens in Melbourne, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why does it happen in Melbourne?
To be fair, that's the only place I've been in, so that's
is Melbourne like coastal or something?
I don't know. They're sort of just... We're all coastal, man. It's Australia.
Melbourne is
which coast you're looking
Melbourne
at?
is like south, though, right? Like it's like further south?
It's a little more south than where I am, but it is like, it's kind of on the water, I guess. Again, so are we all, but maybe it's just the fact that it's on that south coast sort of that, I don't know, maybe Antarctica gets involved. The water swims around a little bit.
Is Perth on the coast, though? That's not on the coast, right?
Yeah. Everything's on the coast, man. Perth's on the coast, Brisbane's on the coast, Sydney's on the coast, Newcastle's on the coast, Melbourne's on the coast. We're all on the coast.
Some of that wildlife in Australia, they thrive in the middle area. They're like, yeah, ain't no humans coming to me.
That's because they're all designed to kill you, right? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they're chilling, to say the least.
Yeah, that's Australia's something else. I love it though. Honestly, it was like one of the few places where I went and I was like, you know what? I'd move here if it wasn't just like 5 days ahead of everyone else and just so far from everywhere.
But then you too could get everything earlier in the game.
True.
Moving over just for Pokemon Go is definitely something, but I guess that's fine. I mean, I don't know how eager I am to experience a bunch of makeup days, but I guess that is the option.
Yeah, I mean, look, Pokédaxi came down here for the Go tour. Pretty much, I assume, just because you do get it first, and so you get extra clicks as a content creator.
I guess so, but he was at the LA tour too. I don't know. I mean, I guess like it's two different videos.
Twice the game for half the playability.
True. I mean, I didn't watch this video, but I did see like the thumbnail and stuff. I was going to watch it some other time, but I mean, I don't think he wrote like very positive things about it, right?
I actually just watched Zoe's video and I saw him pop up in that one. To be honest.
Oh, okay. No, not because it wasn't positive because of Australia by any means. I'm just saying like
the event.
But maybe we can talk about that in the T topic. I don't know. All right. Before we get into all that though, let's talk about the new GBL season. 2 reasons. Tristan's a little bit under weather, so we're just going to cover this first before he has to go, and also because it's a new season. There's a lot of changes.
This is what everyone wants to hear about.
Let's head down to that right now.
That's very true.
True. That is fair. Yeah, y'all can exit out this podcast if you want right after. But me personally, I'm gonna keep listening to myself talk because I'm stuck in traffic right now. It's probably the likelihood. I need to listen for quality assurance. Anyway, Might and Mastery season started this past Tuesday and will end on June 3rd.
And this was a big one.
June 3rd is. It seems like it's not that far away, but it's like, I mean, it's just still solid 2 months. But I feel like a lot's going to happen before that.
I think.
What were you saying? It's a big one.
I was going to say it's a big one. Yeah, I think. This is probably the biggest non-September update we've ever had, if I can remember correctly.
I feel like last year the Skarmory Scald one. The Steelwing Scald one last year, but that was in December 1st was pretty big too, because they heavily nerfed Medicham and they super buffed Steelix and Poliwrath. Like Poliwrath is a big new fighter, and then Charjabug became relevant like overnight because of that, even though they didn't change Charjabug at all.
Yeah, it could be similar to that. I guess like the big change there is that it took the absolute king of the meta down 10 pegs.
Yeah, whereas like Drapion and Zuma are still pretty good, but there's a lot of very like. I would say that this is like, in my opinion, like probably on par though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this.
Yeah, but that one does stand out to me.
Like Steve was pointing out, like that took out kind of a Pokemon from the meta. I feel like this one just sort of added a bunch of new Pokemon without necessarily changing too much what was already sort of very prevalent. Because I have still seen like a lot of Azumarill, Drapion, Clodsire, Dunsparce, that sort of thing.
You've seen Dunsparce.
But this one, now we have a lot of new players. Yes. People still use Dunsparce.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, because not too much, like, stuff got nerfed, but nothing too crazy. Like, Nightshade got nerfed, of course, is still good. Yeah. I haven't seen any, but apparently it's still good based on Sims. Rollout got nerfed, but it's terrible. And then everything else was just buffs, right?
I feel like we got so many new
I like how Rollout.
Okay.
I like how Rollout got nerfed, but like it made still made Blastoise better, just by having it.
Yeah. Dude, that blast is annoying. Well, let's get into the changes then.
And the one other
since
thing
we're talking
before
about
we-
it. So for
Caleb,
those
the
that
one other thing I wanted to say when you were saying
Yeah.
like, oh, June feels not that far away, but there's going to be a lot in between. I heard somewhere, it might have been on Speedy's podcast. I think they were saying that like there's a super high density of tournaments happening between now and June 3rd. Like I think the biggest density of play Pokemon tournaments,
yes, yeah,
plus all of the APAC tournaments as well.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
you,
yeah. I remember him mentioning that. I think he wrote it in his X
oh, it might have been
post
that. Yeah.
associated with his recent podcast. I haven't listened to that recent podcast, but yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I do recall that. Yeah. So let's get into this too, because I mean, I like the changes. I've always been a proponent of just having bigger changes every 3 months, even if it's not like the September one. So me personally, I'm a big fan. Psyshock entry cost decreased. What do we have the if anyone could like pull up the specific numbers?
Yeah, so
'Cause
that
we
one
have
went
that
down
Professor
to
now, but on
Tristan!
the official
that
blog
one
post,
went down to 40 energy.
instead
Yeah,
of
it went from
45.
45 to 40. And that's gonna we'll get to it later, but that's gonna end up being a clone of like two other moves that got buffed as well.
Yeah. Dazzling, you lose 20 damage, but energy cost is decreased.
So it went down to
this felt like a buff too, but I don't. How much?
yeah.
did
So it
energy
went
cost
from
decrease?
70 energy to
Yeah, it
55.
went from 70 to
Yeah.
55.
So it ended up being a big
pretty
buff
good.
because the thing was
It kind of needed
because
it.
70 energy was so hard to get to. Like if you ever like back when you would use like
Mhm.
powder snow and Alolan Ninetales, like it would take forever to get to a Gleam, and like if your opponent shields it, like you're in such a bad spot. So
Mhm.
like, not that Alolan Ninetales is like that good in the current meta, but like I could see it having play in some future meta, and like just that consistency of being able to get to the move a lot faster for anything that knows it, I think is a big plus.
Yeah. Aqua Jet, you gain 35 damage, no, 25 damage, and energy cost is
Yeah.
decreased as well, which is like a
Right, so this
double
went to
buff. That's a
40
huge
energy as
attack,
well.
damage boost.
So it's the 70-40 parameters. That's the same as Psyshock now. And yeah, I've seen some Gallisapods in GPL.
What was it before? Energy
It was
wise?
45, I think. So it didn't come down a ton, but just a little bit of pacing.
Yeah.
But then the big energy buff or damage buff. But yeah, I've seen some Gallisapods in GBL. Hits kind of hard. It's interesting.
How's that compared to the other energies on Gallisapod?
It's the same energy as X-Scissor.
I guess what else is 40 energy? Oh, X-Scissor.
And it's the same as Aerial Ace, and then
that's
it's like
pretty fast.
what 5 or 10 less than Liquidation. But yeah, it comes up pretty quick, especially with Shadow Claw. You're pacing
5
okay.
less.
But yeah,
Five
with
less,
Shadow
yeah.
Claw, you're pacing
Yeah.
5 to every Aqua
Every
Jet,
5.
yeah. And then
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind as we talk about the
Yeah.
rest of it, because pacing this season is kind of nutty for everything. Dynamic Punch costs energy costs decrease, which is a straight buff.
yeah, so it went down 5, so it went from 50 energy to 45, so now it's 90 damage, 45 energy, which makes it a clone of Avalanche, Psystrike, Fusion Bolt, Fusion Flare, which are all very good moves.
Side strike as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very good move. Sludge went up just 20 damage, which you definitely feel it when you get hit by a Galarian Weezing.
Yeah, for real.
Because and you don't. I actually got thrown off by it because I'm not even used to seeing it that often.
I ran into a Galarian
yeah.
Weezing yesterday, and they still had Sludge Bomb, and I was like, "You fool!" Just yelling at my phone.
They've seen some, YouTuber's video with a Galarian Weezing in it and went, oh yeah, I could run this, and then just, click it in.
Wait, Galarian Weezing doesn't even have
it
Sludge
doesn't.
Bomb.
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
I was talking about
Weezing?
regular Weezing. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
That one just doesn't even learn Sludge, so they're behind the times in a couple respects, I guess. But
I guess they were trying to use
they weren't gonna
rollout.
win
I don't
that
really
either
know.
way. Is Hex?
Well, one more thing on the Sludge.
Were they using rollout on the Weezing?
No.
Oh, well then I don't know. The
I mean,
Sludge actually
it's
like
ranked 2 battles, like.
the Sludge hits harder than you would think. Like even against my Drapion, it was doing a decent chunk of damage, which is resisted. I was like, wow, this kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took out it took out half of my health on my Grumpig. My Grumpig is a very high rank
Mhm.
one. I mean, maybe the Fairy Wind
Yeah.
adding on to it helped, but it's nutty. And it's 5-4-5-4. It's super fast
Oh my god,
pacing.
so fast.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was just straight 5, so like I completely just like lost like more Pekko
Ooh,
for no
yeah,
reason
that'll do
in
it.
the with energy because I'm trying to farm it down. But what okay, so other
Hex, we're on Hex.
moveset changes, we have Hex gaining 1
and
damage.
1 energy. And 1
Huh?
energy.
Yeah, one yeah. It's not better than Astonish though, right? I'm pretty sure Astonish is
It's
still
just
better.
side
Nah,
grade.
I'd still run Astonish over Hex. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
So
Yeah, it's a side grade. You like it could be useful for some Pokemon,
Mhm.
but I think
Because the
Astonish
pacing
kind
is
of what I
better
would go
with
for.
Hex.
okay, so
But
Yeah.
the Astonish damage still is just so nice.
yeah, so they're both 3
Yeah.
turn moves. Astonish is 12 damage, 10 energy, and Hex is 7 damage, 13 energy. So Astonish is a slightly more like well-rounded
that daily
move, and
pressure
that
is pretty
damage hits
nuts.
hard. But I saw some people talking about that they were using Dusknoir with Hex and just pacing really quickly to Shadow Punch and Dynamic Punch. I think someone said they took out a couple more Peckos just spamming straight Shadow Punch because Morpeko's so squishy. So I don't know. We'll
Mhm.
see. I think both are viable, and I think we'll see what people use. I think people were saying for Driftblim, Hex is better than Astonish now. For Dusknoir, I think more people are preferring Astonish, but again, like I said, I saw some people who were enjoying the Hex, so it'll be interesting to see how that ends up shaking out in the long run.
I think Hex is better for Drifblim because it'll get you to those debuff moves faster.
Yeah, for sure.
Which can be really helpful for Drifblim.
I think the only downside of Hex over Astonish is that Astonish, I know primarily the Primeape and Shadow Froggator matchup, you can Astonish down into 2 shields. Or no, I think it's Froggator, I think you can Astonish down to 2 shields. Primeape, you can Astonish down to 1 shield. But with Hex, I don't think you could Astonish down in 2 shields, and you definitely can't Astonish Hex down in 1 shield. So you have to give up more
Right.
shields, right? So that's a big factor of Astonish
Yeah.
over Hex. And my other guess is, let's say if Drifblim is hyper meta in this new meta, it's personally, I probably just run Astonish over Hex because in that mirror matchup, you're just going to get Astonished down before you get to another move,
True.
right? So just like losing that mirror matchup is like kind of
Right.
brutal.
And
but,
Astonish has nice farm down
but,
potential too.
it's nice to have the option.
Yeah, Astonish has nice farm down potential.
For sure.
And I think the big thing
Definitely.
with Hex is also for all the ghosts that don't get Shadow Claw and don't get Astonish got a nice buff. Like the Dusclops, the Jellicent, and I think it's not quite as good, but I think it is flying under the radar a little. I think the Frostlass could have some niche play here and there. Again, not as good as the other ghosts in general, but might pop.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Tristan's pushing Frostlass.
Yeah, he asked me to include on my tier list too, which I can. I just don't know. Is it? Wait, what is he even ranked right now?
Not that
It's
high.
95.
Oh, that's higher than I would have thought.
95, 130. No. You say that 95 and then 130 for the Shadow. You know what Florges is ranked? 84.
Yeah. The rankings are a little nutty.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I might include it just to roast it some more. But okay, we got acrobatics. Energy cost is
That went
decreased.
down 5 energy,
So
now
that one,
it's a Megahorn clone now.
yeah,
Marto cheering.
it does feel a little nice, especially when you're using a Molga, which I was trying a little bit in GBL. I haven't tried it on the Jump Bluff yet, but I think Jump Bluff, there's a lot of reasons to still to run.
I think this is more of an
but
Emolga buff than
Air
a
Cutter.
Jump Bluff buff, just because Jump Bluff I think prefers the pacing with Aerial Ace.
Yeah.
And the thing that Emolga has going for it too is
Mhm.
with the Discharge buff, which we'll get to in a minute, Emolga can be very efficient into discharge acrobatics that fits like perfect energy with Thundershock. And the only way that Jumpluff could take care of that
Mhm.
or make advantage of that same efficient pacing would be if it ran Aerial Ace Acrobatics, which seems kind of silly to not run a grass move on your grass type. So yeah, I think it's a bigger buff for Emolga than Jumpluff, but yeah.
Right. Air Cutter, it lost 15 damage. Energy cost is decreased. Chance to increase user's attack by 1 stage. I don't even know what learns Air Cutter,
Okay,
honestly, and I haven't
so
even
The
seen
only
it.
thing, yeah, I was
Golbat.
gonna say the only thing I could think of is Golbat.
wow, Kaz, you're the bird person. You didn't even say Pidgeot.
Yeah.
I know. Now I'm looking at the
Oh.
list and I'm like, oh.
Also, Farfetch'd.
She's stressed. She was
Kanto
hoping that no one was going to
Farfetch'd is
call her
also
out.
a bird.
I can't know everything.
You can't. You run Kaz's corner and you're the bird person. You're legally obligated to know this.
See?
Oh, okay. Legally.
The benefits of people assuming I don't know everything is that they'll never roast me on not knowing anything.
I am happy to learn new things about birds I love.
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna be.
Wait, so what about Eric? So it's not good, right?
It's not
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
I'd say of all the changes, this is like kind of the most mid. It's not terrible, but it's not good. It's 45 damage, 35 energy with a 30% chance to boost your attack by 1 stage. So most things aren't gonna run it. I think
Dude, I feel like it should be at least 50% with those numbers.
I was talking to some people who thought that like there's a chance like Pidgeot would run it over Aerial Ace, because it pastes faster.
Really? Oh, over Aerial Ace.
Yes.
Well, Pidgeot's running like Feather Dance Brave Bird, right?
No, you see Aerial Ace.
At least on the
sometimes,
Shadow, it runs
just to have
Aerial Ace. Like when Dune won with Shadow
solid
Pidgeot,
damage.
he ran Aerial Ace, and when who was it? Was it Richie ran Shadow Pidgeot at UIC in one of the Latium tournaments? He was also running with Aerial Ace. I think on the Shadow, Aerial Ace is the play because it gives you, especially with the Shadow status, like it lets you do some decent damage without debuffing yourself, and it's so much quicker than Feather Dance because Feather Dance is 50 energy, Aerial Ace is 40, and now Air Cutter is 35. So like, I think that Aerial Ace versus Air Cutter is like.
I wonder if there's ever a reason to run Aerial Ace and Feather Dance.
No, I think you want the closing power of Brave Bird. Brave Bird hits so hard.
Yeah, you
Like-
really need Brave Bird. Any like flying type that learns Brave Bird, like you just have to have that.
Yeah, like Brave.
But yeah, those Shadow Pidgeot enjoyers that you just mentioned, I'm positive that they will be swapping to Air Cutter.
And the thing too with Brave Bird is like it hits so hard that it's sort of like a coverage move. Like it hits hard enough that it hits like about as hard as like a neutral non-stab move against something that resists flying. Like it just has so much raw damage power that like even in a resisted matchup it's doing good damage. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I've gotten Steelix to shield under threat of a Brave Bird.
I think we spent enough time in Air Cutter.
Okay, so we got Rock Tomb. This is a pretty big buff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not Air Cutter. A little underwhelming. Rock Tomb goes up 10 damage. Energy cost is decreased, and well, you were always guaranteed to lower the opponent's attack by 1 stage, but they just want to add emphasis.
Yeah, so this dropped to 50.
Thing.
It was
what was
60
the energy,
energy before.
Change?
I think it was 70 damage and 60 energy.
So nice.
So it went up 10 damage and it went down 10 energy. So this was a pretty significant buff.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun to use.
I simmed Credilli beats Giratina altered form in Ultra League. With Rock Tomb buff now.
Yo, I was running Credilli in Great League yesterday. It's so good. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's I'm thinking some Ultra League lines already with that one. Rollout got a slight nerf, goes down 1 damage. honestly, I've still seen a decent amount of
Mm-hmm.
rollouters in this season. Primarily Blastoise, so we'll talk about that later on because it did get rollout as well. But I've seen like
That's
Miltank as well
wild to
too,
me.
which is kind of
Mm.
Also,
interesting.
Cray
Yeah.
Daily.
I guess
They
because
didn't
it's
win.
also got Thunderbolt, so like it's got some water coverage.
Also,
I
Cray
guess.
Daily can like barely win the zero shields against Shadow Drapion, which is kind of nutty now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Nightshade got a 10 damage nerf, which is very unfortunate for me personally because I haven't even used a Galarian Corsola yet. And it got nerfed.
He's
It's
like,
kind of
I
like
just got
Karasuno when they
this.
got. I didn't even build it yet. No, I have a bunch that I just can't make, so I haven't even gotten around to it. I need to hatch some more 7-kilometer eggs, but yeah. But it's still Galarian Corsola is still pretty high up
Yeah.
in the rankings, just not as high.
I think this
which
was
I
a
think it's
very
fine. I think that
this was a
it did
very
need a
good
little
change in my opinion because it was just like a neutral bulk monster and like it just takes it down a little bit, but like this isn't such a big nerf that it nerfs it out of the meta. Like I think this is the sort of nerf that we really want to see. Like it just makes it a little bit less strong, but it's still very good. And the thing I like too is this combined with a lot of these other ghost buffs means that we have a lot of variety in terms of viable ghosts in the meta. And it also makes it so that people that don't have a Galarian Corsola aren't so like it makes just ghosts more accessible in general because you don't because before it was basically run Galarian Corsola or don't run a ghost. But now, if you don't have a Galarian Corsola, like you don't have the IVs you like, or you don't have the XLs or whatever, there's plenty of other ghost options to run. So I think this combined with all those other ghost changes was very good and very healthy, and I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really hit too many other things, honestly. So it was a good one. I like that they didn't overkill it with nerfing power gem stuff too. Like I hate when they do that. It's just like what they did Vigoroth was just so like overkill and so many fronts. Like, dude, that thing's like pretty unuseful with the counter nerf already, and then you're going to nerf body slam, and then you're going to nerf rock slide. Like we get it.
Stop.
You made it OP, and you don't know how to bounce it, and you don't know how to bounce it again by overdoing
Stop.
it. Like,
He's already dead.
yeah,
Yeah, same with
exactly.
Gligar a little bit.
Um,
I think in fairness
anyway,
on
that's
Vigoroth, I
my main
think
take on
that
that.
it got caught in the unfortunate spot of like Lickitung also forcing a body slam nerf and like Annihilate forcing a counter nerf, but I don't understand why Rock Slide had to get hit too. That was the silliest one of the three. But anyway.
Yeah, rock slide. I mean, and it's like, what were they worried about? Carbink
Galarian
that's
Sunfish
never.
Thrower.
Yeah, that thing got nerfed to the ground too. Carbink that is never relevant for anything. Like, come on now. That thing got power gem buff too, and it's still irrelevant. It's I tried using it this season, and it's still not good. It sims so well. I can tell you, it's so hard to use. I don't
There
know.
are just too many counters to it out there now. Like everything
but
counters it. You don't like it doesn't just do anything. And
I think the problem is
too
it's
high
too
risk.
inflexible because like it's there's something about it where it's like it doesn't feel like Bastion, even though it should, like it's way harder to use in Bastion for some reason. But maybe it's just like the Smackdown, I don't know, the lack of Smackdown pressure. I don't know. Anyway, Foul Play gets a buff in my opinion as well. It went down 10 damage, but it also energy cost was also decreased. What was
just
the
a
differential
5.
here? Because I'm curious, like if it was
So
a
it went down
side grade but
5
just fast
energy.
pacing.
So it loses 10 damage,
5?
5 energy. So I think this is a very clever change because it was a buff, in my opinion, for Sableye and Malamar, which like the better pacing. Because Sableye is now pacing straight 5 Shadow Claws to Foul Play.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things holding Sableye back was the pacing before. And Malamar is nice because now it doesn't have to like bait a superpower sort of a deal. Like it would always be awkward against like a Shadow for Alligator or something where you have to throw superpower just because of the pacing. So it really helped those two. But because of the damage reduction, it's not a buff for the big foul play Snarl users. Like Umbreon, I think in the PV Poke rankings has Dark Pulse because the efficiency with Snarl is just not there. So Snarl Umbreon and Snarl Mandibuzz are both going to be running Dark Pulse.
What
I think it is a slight buff to Air Slash Mandibuzz, so there is that. But I think that's okay because
Yeah,
I
that's what I was
think
gonna
that
ask. Yeah.
Snarl is the better generalist with the higher win rates of the two. So if Air Slash gets a small boost, that's not the end of the world. So I think this was a well-tuned change that
Mhm.
didn't just, it wasn't like a blanket buff to all foul play users. It really highlighted that Sableye and that Malamar without really buffing the Umbreon or the Snarl Mandibuzz.
Yeah, running the foul play Dazzling Gleam Sableye feels
Oh my
really
god,
good.
so nice.
Pacing wise. I was running some of that, the Shadow variant too. I know Kaz probably wasn't, but still. Shadow variant was pretty
The
good too.
normal one is good
Um,
too. Just saying.
Yeah, honestly,
yeah. No, that Dazzling Gleam coverage is really nice. It's like I'm like scared to bring up more Pekko into it.
the big thing I like about these Sableye changes too is it makes it so that the purified Sableye is not necessary or even that good anymore, which is a huge boost for
Yeah.
accessibility because it used to be
Mhm.
this feels bad moment of like I would see people in discords and they would go play an event or spotlight hour and they'd be like, oh, I caught this like rank 20 or rank 15 Sableye, and you'd have to be like, well, here's the thing, that sucks. You need to like go get a purified or shadow one because that thing's useless. And it was this
Yeah.
feels bad moment of like they caught something really cool, but you had to
Yeah.
tell them it wasn't that good. Versus now, people can use those high rank wild caught
Yeah.
Sableyes, which is a huge boost in my opinion. So big fan of that, and I think that
Yeah. Now that it only feels a little bad moment because you only need 296 XLs, but you can make it.
That's true. I spent a
But
ridiculous amount to make a higher rank, like non-purified Sableye yesterday. I was like, "This is what I've
it's
been
worth it
saving
in my
for,
opinion.
buddy."
I think that the
Does it have the hat?
Yeah, it's got a little hat. Yeah,
It
it's got the
does?
little
ooh, that's
candle
good. That's a
Oh,
good
hat.
one.
nice.
I think the
Oh,
power
that's a good
gem is
one.
also pretty viable. It's just not as good as coverage, but in general, um,
Yeah, especially in the
yeah. But like
mirror.
I've been running power gem just because I'm debating using Sableye in Vancouver this weekend, and Gleam won't be eligible for that. So I've been trying that in GBL just to get a feel for it. And the power gem's pretty nice too. And it's come in handy a few times when I've
Mm.
gotten stuck against like a glare and wheezing. I can throw the power gem. I also like nuked an unsuspecting Lapras one time and like almost one shot it.
Wait, you threw a power? Power. Sorry, power gem. I was thinking about Dazzling Gleam. I was
Yeah,
confused for
I
a
think
second.
that
Yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah.
the coverage
Yeah,
on the
that makes
Gleam is
sense.
much nicer for the dark types, but power gem's not bad either. I think they're both viable.
Yeah. Well, and you can't
Yeah, that was my
use
point.
Dazzling
That's
Gleam in
why I'm
Vancouver anyway, right? So
testing out power
Correct.
gems to see how I like it.
for now, we'll talk. Yeah. Right. And then the final update to the moves is Discharge. It went down by 10 damage, but energy cost
So the
also
energy went down by
decreased,
5. So now it's
which
40 energy
kind of a
now.
buff.
So
I-
I think
Yeah.
I think it's more of a nerf.
it depends on the Pokemon. I think that it's an Emolga buff. I think that it's a Charjabug side grade because
Yeah.
Charjabug does pace a little quicker now to the discharges. But I do think it's a Unova Stunfisk nerf.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of an interesting spot.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I completely forgot about the other stuff. I was just thinking about Moga the whole time. But you're right. Yeah. So I mean,
Right,
the pacing is
yeah.
the same as Exeter, right? So, for Charger Bug, so
Yeah.
that's something to
Yeah.
know. And
Yes.
Mud Bomb, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But like
yeah.
Okay.
Unova
So
Stunfisk
Still,
liked
just keep that in
sometimes
mind as
having
it
for
counts.
discharged for like a little bit
5454 for
better neutral
Stunfisk.
damage sometimes, like if you need that little extra power. So that's why I think
Mm-hmm.
it's a Stunfisk
Oh no, I
nerf.
agree.
But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I think the slightly better pacing on Emolga is nice. And I'm unsure on the Charjabug because it's awkward because there's times where that discharge just isn't doing that little extra damage you want it to. But it, like I said, it does pace the same as X Scissor now, which can be nice in some cases.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the adjustments. A bunch of attacks were updated. So I want to just take these, just run through all of them.
Speedrun
Yeah,
time.
Steve, go for it.
All right. Piloswine, Mamoswine both have Icicle Spear. Togetic, Togekiss, Ranunculus, and Bruxish have all got Psyshock. None of those are good. Venomoth has Psywave. Lapras has Psywave. That's a big one we're going to come back to. Grumpig has Psywave. I guess Caleb's going to want to talk about that as well. Ferret and Lunun have Swift. Both are kind of Drampa has Swift. Grumpig has Dynamic Punch. Yay. Dusknoir has Dynamic Punch. Yay. Lapras has Sparkling Aria. Straight buff on Surf. Sableye has Dazzling Gleam, as been said. Rabombi has Charm. Blastoise has Rollout. Big. Weezing has Rollout. Mom has Rollout. Absolutely meta
terrible.
king now. This is some S++ tier shenanigans. Like,
I need someone to sub them out here. This is misleading information.
It's going to be crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Even though I know Caleb targeted me and put it at the bottom of his tier list, but it's going to be sick as. Wailord also has Rollout. Glalie has Rollout. Neither of those going to be huge. Credillia has Rock Tomb, which is big. Bombardier has Rock Tomb, going to be big because of its later move addition. Swampert has Sludge, big. Swallow has Sludge, Dragalga has Sludge Bomb, yeah. Roserade has Poison Sting. Ferret has Trailblaze. Florges has Trailblaze. That's its big PB Poker Ranker boost. Mightyena has Sucker Punch. Bellybolt has Sucker Punch, and Bombardier has Sucker Punch. So it's got that Sucker Punch Rock Tomb, which is all right. There's your speed run. Anyway, events. No.
Yeah. No. So interesting part about Florges is it actually dropped in rankings after getting
really?
Trailblade for Ultra League. I don't know for Great League. Yeah. But for Ultra League, it actually dropped. Yeah. I maybe for Great. I don't know, but
I think that
so
one's
that's
a
an interesting
Master
one
League
to note.
change.
But I would say
to target the Rhyperiors now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, no, it's going to be great for Master League for sure. The Rombombe one's kind of interesting. I actually thought that didn't even power up to 1500, but it does. So I was mistaken on that, but no one else even corrected me on it when I made my tier
I
list,
just
so
don't think it's
clearly
very
no
good
one else knows.
Pokemon.
But that being said,
It's not.
no,
Yeah.
it's not. Wilmer might be
I
able to beat on
disagree
good
with
day,
a
but
few of Steve's
I reckon on
assessments.
any
I
day.
think that Furret is going to be way better than Steve is predicting. I think Furret is actually quite solid.
I haven't seen any though. It's a thing. Yeah, I'm curious your takes on all these too, because okay, so I know you said Dusknoir might be pretty good. I have not seen a single Dusknoir in Great League. I think in Ultra League it could be good. Was it good?
It was okay.
Out of all the ones that like got updates, the ones that I've seen the most in my 4 sets that I've done so far is the Lapras for sure, Grumpig for sure, and then the Sableye and
I've seen
the Blastoise.
so many Blastoise.
Those are like the ones that I've actually like seen. Yeah.
Yeah, Blastoise is, and that thing is like annoying. It's just like the Hydro Cannon hits way harder than Surf ever did from Bibro, right? So that's like the thing that just like I'm like, shoot, I really don't want to shield this, but like I kind of have to. Whereas like it's on a like a Drapion, I'm like, I could take a Surf. You know, I'm more worried about the Hyper Fang.
The Skull Bash is really annoying too because it buffs itself, and Blastoise is already fairly tanky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Are you a big boss?
It's my favorite. It's my favorite, like of the Kanto starters. Like I always loved the Squirtle family. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Wartortle is like one of my favorite designs for Pokemon ever. So like by proxy, Blastoise whenever I can use it.
If you're a true fan, you run Wartortle instead of Blastoise.
I'm not convinced.
You can run both if you really want to.
Youngest
working
thinks
on my best buddy
Wartortle is
now.
like the secret sauce because of the Aqua Jet buff. I think it's pure copium, but.
What?
That's got to be.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, dude, that's quite the strategy. Convince everyone else to run Wartortle so you can win. Water Gun Bite is as fast as like Aqua Jet, Ice Beam, Return to Hydro Pump.
It's still 14 turns to an Aqua Jet, or 13, but like, come on.
Unfortunately, yeah. If Wartortle had gotten roll out, now we'd be talking. But unfortunately,
that's a weird one. I don't know. Wait, so Tristan, what's your take on Dusknoir? You think it's actually good and great?
I
League?
think
I'm
it's
not
good. I
still,
think the biggest problem it has is just a lot of ghost competition. because it's like again.
Well, that's why I put it pretty low in my tier list. I'm just like, it's not bad. It's just you would
It has
rarely run it over the other ghost options, right? It's kind of like a lot of the fairies or charmers. So it's like you would never run Togekiss
it
when you
has
have
the
so many
best
other better
coverage
fairies and
combo
charmers in
though,
this
and I
meta,
think
even
if
if
you
it got
can
a buff
set
of
it up
Side
with a
Shot.
shield or energy advantage, it's a lot more threatening than any of the other ghosts. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I guess so. I think the thing with dynamic, it's yeah. I mean, ghost fighting obviously is great coverage, but against like a dark type, like the hand punch doesn't feel that good. It's okay. Like, well I guess I'm trying to think of main dark types, right? It's like Manabuzz,
Yeah, I
Drapion.
think
Like
it's
you're just
more for
taking
the
neutral. It's not a lot
normals.
of
I
super
think like
effective. Obviously, more Peko is great, but no, I can't even
I
think
mean
of a lot of
mostly
dark types that take
Umbreon,
even
but I
super
think it's more for
effective.
the normals. I think for like the
Yeah,
Diggersby, the Furret, I think that being able to hit those
yeah,
is pretty handy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because like the Diggersby matchup, like you do resist.
yeah. Wait, so you said Furt's pretty good too. I haven't seen a single Furt
I
this
think it
season.
might end up being more of a.
Hmm.
I think it might end up being
Oh no,
more
I
of a.
saw one. It got
I think it
destroyed
might
by
end
my
up being more of
Morpeko
a show six mon.
though.
I think it has a
Huh?
good coverage combo. That Sucker Punch makes it a really potent anti-ghost, and like the ghosts I think are going to be popping up. The Sucker Punch is also nice into like Grumpig if that ever sees play, and like the pseudo grass coverage with the Trailblaze. Um, I think the Ferret could see a lot of play in terms of show six.
Let me.
Surely there's better picks. Like,
Yeah, I'll try to see the bulk of for it. It's stat product wise is kind of similar to Blastoise. It's a little less bulky, but it's less defense and more stamina. I guess a little more
Mm-hmm.
attack. It's like kind of middle of the road in my opinion. Maybe if I compare it to Swampert might be a better comparison. Yeah, it's a little bulkier than Swampert at least. It's like very similar defense, a little less attack, but a lot more stamina. So that might be a good comparison if anyone's curious about how bulky a fur is. Okay, well, that's the updates. I've seen a lot. I've just seen a lot of Sidewave users, a lot of Grumpig, a lot of Lapras. I don't know how much of it is people just trying to use it, but they both are pretty strong in my opinion. Grumpig went up over 900 spots.
Yeah, I
in
think
rankings
that's the.
I do enjoy using
crazy.
Grumpig. I tried one set with it, and it was the set where I actually managed a
I
5-0.
think
So
Grumpig.
Pig wins. Pig wins.
What was the rest of the team?
Blastoise was on there. I can't remember what my third was.
Consider more War Turtle next time. A little ABB Squirtle
Okay.
family.
I'll work on
Actually,
that
if you win one with Squirtle on the squad as well, that'd be crazy.
No.
You had to catch like someone around like a town fling Clodsire maybe or something, but it's not unusable. No, I think Grumpig is going to be really, really strong though, and then Lapras as well. I think those are like the two biggest winners.
Yeah.
Blastoise definitely has some niche uses, but it could be good, especially against opposing Lapras.
Do you think? I know that they're
too.
not eligible for Vancouver this weekend, but like, do we think that these are gonna start affecting like show
easily.
6?
I think
Are they jumping
Lapras
up?
is going to show.
100%.
I think Grumpig might end up
Yeah.
being more of a GBL mon for the time being, just because I think the meta is going to be highly ghost and dark concentrated, which is not ideal for Grumpig. But Grumpig does have the fact going for it that it's one of the best Lapras counters, I think, because it resists a Psywave and hits back with Dynamic Punch. But I do.
It's also not bad
Yeah.
into Annihilate in the fighters, right?
I think that.
eh.
Because
Yeah.
against Primeape, you could just go straight Dynamic Punch. Because the Sidewave just really adds up. Like
I
stab
do think
Sidewave.
that.
But I don't know. Maybe Malamar takes more priority as a Sidewave.
I think that.
Psychic user.
I think Annihilate.
Yeah, and you've got Lapras coverage. You've even got
I'm
Grumpig
expecting
coverage.
Annihilate to drop because it has lose cons against Lapras. It has lose cons against Shadowclaw Lanoon. Then you're adding in a bunch of ghost types. Psywave Grumpig.
Yeah. Who's really bringing Lanoon though?
Yeah. I didn't prepare for Lanoon in my show 16. I'm gonna lose.
Also, like, again, I think the meta's going to shift, but like, if Azumarill Drapion core is still good, like,
Yeah.
Sand Attack Lanoon actually beats that core pretty well. But we have a lot of other core breakers for that too, like Lapras and other stuff. So it's not like that's like a needed thing, but I do think the
Yeah.
meta.
The only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is Drapion didn't get touched at all, so that thing's pretty high on top of the like top of the meta still, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean, being a dark type too, it just resists the psychic
So
damage
that's
still
the
from all the
thing, though,
sideways
is
users. So
it doesn't really actually
it'll be
resist
interesting.
the
I'll just put it
Psywave
that way.
damage. It still takes 2 damage per Psywave. Just the way the damage works.
Wait,
like
why?
it's sort of the same way that
But
just the, like
what
a
do you mean?
lot of
So if it was
things
neutral, it would take
things that take neutral from Psywave are
2
taking
damage
2 per
still. What do you mean?
Psywave, and Shadow Drapion is also taking 2 per Psywave. So even though it technically resists Psychic, in actuality, it's not really.
Oh, I see.
It's the same thing before, like back in the day. Stuff like, I think, Shadow Drapion and
Right.
maybe even Skuntank were still taking like 2 damage per lick from Lickitung. And so that even though technically they resist Ghost, they in actuality it wasn't really like resisting Lick because it was still doing like 2 damage per lick. So sometimes the way the damage works like that is a little funky.
Okay.
I
That's
think
good to know.
I need to check this. I would think that the regular Drapion might only take 1 damage per Psywave though. So there's a chance that the meta shifts towards regular Drapion over the Shadow. Because regular Drapion has a
Yeah, the trade off there is you're not as
but
good
like
into
how much
Azumarill,
Azumarill
but
are we gonna see is
yeah.
the question, right?
I think a lot.
Yeah.
What got buffed that's
Blastoise,
going to
Lapras.
counter Azumarill? Like
Yeah, but you
got
have
Galarian
Blastoise,
Weezing, but I feel
Lapras,
like that's
and
kind of
Sludge.
niche. Yeah, but those are like I wouldn't mind being Azumarill in those matchups. You know, like it's like it doesn't feel that
It really,
bad.
yeah, it
in
really
my opinion.
doesn't.
Well, maybe the Blastoise could be annoying if they start shielding and skull bashing you, but like the Lapras
Well, it
doesn't feel
depends
that
too
bad.
if
Like,
the
you have
Lapras
plenty of
run
things to
Skull
hit back
Bash as
with.
well. And like
But
the Sludge Swampert beats it now too.
yeah. I guess in show 6 at least you'll see it coming. Dude, that thing pisses me off so much when I see a Lapras and they throw a Skull Bash. I'm like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be running this. Like, you're just like one-shotting my Feraligatr. I'm like trying to catch a Sparkling Aria, and they're just still throwing Psywave. I was like, what is happening?
The thing
Like, ain't no way I'm shielding a potential Sparkling Aria. But
I think the part of the problem is that Ice Beam is an elite tier move, right?
Yes.
So people, especially in Go Battle League,
it was
especially in these early ranks,
it was a content creator that did this. Like,
Oh.
they definitely have the resources. Like,
Okay.
I'm not even going to name names, but they have like 4 or 5 different like alt accounts too. So like, I was like, this person definitely can afford
Yeah,
it.
I had a
think
crisis yesterday when I was
it was-
looking at all my Lapras, and I was like, I want Ice Beam, but I don't have any other good Lapras that are worth building. Like,
I do-
ugh.
Yeah, I luckily just made one that didn't have
I
Ice
do
Shard
think
already, which
that
was
this-
nice. But
I think
Yeah.
the Skull Bash has
I feel
a
bad
lot
to
of
TM
too.
off the
I
Ice
think
Shard,
it'll
but-
be interesting to see, both in terms of GBL and play Pokemon, the dynamic between Ice Beam and Skull Bash, because I think there's a lot of merit to both. And so it'll be interesting to see which way trainers
Mhm.
lean, and maybe we see it shift one way and then shift back the other, etc., as the meta changes around them too, potentially. So I am interested on that. But the thing with the Azumarill too, I was going to say is like,
Yeah.
even if some of
Mhm.
these waters aren't
Yeah.
like, maybe it's not the worst matchup for Azumarill, but you have to consider too that you don't want to stack too many weaknesses. So it's like, are you really going to run Azumarill and Feraligatr, or Azumarill and Lapras in the same team, or Azumarill and Blastoise in the same team? Like you're really only going to fit so many water types in the team. So if you're wanting to run Lapras or Blastoise or Swampert or 2 of those, you might have to drop Azumarill just because you can't stack too many electric or grass weaknesses as well. So I do think that we might see it drop a little, at least in play.
I think it drops in usage a little bit, but I think it's still going to be pretty good.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
That's my take. We'll see though. I mean, like I'm thinking like, oh, Surumo's like good into Sableye, but like Blastoise with its
Yeah, I
rollout is
agree.
actually pretty good into Sableye too.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like you
to
can still
me, it
tank
depends on if you actually want water
foul play.
damage, because Azumarill isn't really doing that. So if you want
Hmm.
like the actual water type damage, then there are other Pokemon that are way better now that you'll choose instead.
The thing is also Sableye is like Azumarill is not a Sableye
No.
counter. I was running Shadow Sableye and I was like throwing. You land one Dazzling Gleam, they're in foul play range, and so it just becomes like it's just like old purified Sableye
Yeah.
again in some respects, right? You can
Yeah, I
flip that
think
matchup. So
yeah, I think
you're pretty much
Azumarill.
just
The
running it for
biggest
like
things
the
Azumarill
fighters at
has
this
for it,
point.
which is
If
what it
you,
always has, is the bulk and the roll compression. Right, like it's generally beating darks, fighters,
Yep.
dragons, fires, grounds, all that stuff. But like even then, because of its pacing, like it's not, like you said, it's not super reliable against Sableye. Like even like Primeape can be a little bit iffy for it at times. So like, and I do think too that, like you said earlier, Caleb, that pacing is so important in this meta. I think that pacing might end up being a bigger problem for Azumarill in this upcoming meta than it's had previously as well. Um,
I think that's the reason why Registeel just keeps dropping in usage as well. It's not like it's getting nerfed; it's too slow. Like okay, all right, let's put it this way. Remember, I said Florges is 84th, right? Not the best, even with Trailblaze. Registeel is 89th. It's 5 spots behind Florges, which is crazy to me. Like, it's not like it's dropped so much in the rankings because I think okay, I'll put it this way. I think for like pacing wise and for PvP in general, I don't think it's a bad thing that everything's being faster now in terms of how fast you get to moves. Like Sableye's example, or like Discharge is cheaper. Like so many moves are cheaper now, even if they do less damage, but spammier, which is better in my opinion because the pace of the game moves up a bit with the reduced switch timer that we've introduced this year too, or this current like PvP year, like since September. It also speeds up the switch timer, right? If people are throwing more moves. The downside to that is that all these Pokemon that used to be kind of bulky but have really expensive moves are so hard to use. And in Great League and probably Ultra League. Maybe Master League's a different story because that meta doesn't change very often and they have the bulk to get to those things. Um but yeah, for Great League, like a lot of these things are like Dugong's 91
the
in
pacing, but
ranking,
also because
probably
of
because like the pacing
Lapras.
as well,
Yeah.
right?
Lapras just
Let's see
kind of
what else is like
edges it
kind of
out
on the
too.
slower side, but Lapras too. Well, what about
I
Cresselia?
mean,
Cresselia is at 100, right?
Cresselia's problem.
Like that's pretty bad, and it's
Well,
still it didn't
not
get
just the
nerfed. It's just
pacing
that
for Cresselia, but it's all the ghost and dark
there's a
types
lot of dark
too
types too. But
are not a friendly environment for it.
yeah, but at least the dark types it has Moonblast for it. It's just too slow to get to it. You just shield once and you just like throw 2 moves at it, and
Yeah.
it's like what are they gonna do? Shield and lose the match still, Um, but I think that's like it's just the pacing on a lot of these things are pretty good. The bulkier stuff with longer pacing is getting affected, and I think again I don't mind this change. I just think that Niantic just needs to keep in mind for the future patches to maybe consider buffing some of these like higher energy using Pokemon somehow. Maybe you reduce the energy on some of their moves, or you had a bait move. I don't know, but I think that's my only concern. I don't think it's a bad thing though.
I was
But
gonna say, if
yeah,
I
Like,
never see a
like
I feel like
Registeel
Umbreon's
it's.
again,
I feel like it's.
not upset.
I
like
feel like
Umbreon's
it's. I feel like it's
133. That's
a fair
crazy on the
balance though, where you
rankings.
have
That is
bulkier
nuts.
things with slower moves, and you have squishier things with faster moves. As a general rule of thumb, I think is a decent trade-off in terms of balance, because if you give something bulky quick moves, it can just sort of spiral out of control potentially. So like, sure, maybe you can speed up a bulky thing like a tiny bit, but like in general, I think that's sort of what keeps the bulky things
Yeah.
balanced. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. Why is
I think it's the
Aridos
ghosts.
so low now? It's
I think it's the
149.
ghosts.
The pacing's just as good as before.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Just the ghost, really? Because how many? I mean, it's interesting because like I mean, it has coverage for all these like Grumpig and stuff, right? And Lapras. I just think it's interesting because it didn't really get nerfed much. It still looks decent to the meta. Yeah, it's bad in the ghost, but like everyone's team has at most 2 ghosts, but most likely 1 or 0, right?
maybe
So doesn't it still like have a lot of
But like,
play?
look at some of the key losses. Like Lapras lost, Jellicent lost, Clodsire, Mandibuzz, Drapion. Like all of those things are top meta, so you're more likely to see those.
I
Losing
just
to Lapras is kind of crazy, actually. But okay. So in this situation, Lapras not throwing a single move in 2 shields, but honestly, I don't mind because I hate seeing that spider anyway. So I was just curious why it was so low. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for our GBL updates. Do we want to do like a GBL bet for this season? I have something in mind for myself that I think is pretty hard. I'm curious what you all think of it, and then if you agree with it,
Whalmer
then
to
just come up
Legend
with something
Race.
like of similar difficulty.
Well,
I think.
what's
But my thought was
Whalmer to Legend
so
Race.
for myself, huh?
Whalmer to Legend Race?
No, I want to see Caleb run Whalmer.
That
to
could be
Legends.
Steve's thing, I guess. But no, heck no. No, none of my. I'm gonna lose all my patrons because they'll be like, "This is the stupidest team ever. Why am I paying for this?" For me, I'm thinking of I had to hit page 1 the GBL leaderboard at some point in the season. That's pretty hard. I haven't done that in like a long time. Yeah, take a look. Take a look. Yeah, see when the last time I hit page 1 is. It's probably been at least over a year. I think. Maybe not. Oh, I might have hit it during like when we had Little Catch Cup last time around because I like went crazy with that. I'm not sure though because I couldn't even really find opponents. Yeah. So anyway, it's not a common current. Like I definitely hit it way less frequently than I hit Legend for sure. Anyway, we don't have to decide right away, but that's what I'm throwing out there. If Kaz and Tristan want to join on this, maybe just think of something for yourselves, and we'll see if we approve it or not. And then, you know what this bet should be? Maybe this bet should be something we do for Worlds.
Steve's gonna have stacks on stacks on stacks.
Yeah, it's gonna be the first clown dressed up as a slowpoke at Worlds. Like, whoa, this is kind of a different cosplay. Well, anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. We can think on it, and if anyone in our listeners have suggestions for myself or the others, feel free to drop it in comments.
Yeah,
down
open
below.
to suggestions. Not entirely sure what a good challenge would be.
None of that like running a half marathon or a 10K thing that RC Cola used to always recommend.
No.
I was like, no, we don't want to do
I'm
that.
not
right?
running
like,
anywhere.
Well,
I used to run a lot, and it sucks.
If Steve loses, he can run a marathon in a slowpoke onesie.
He's got to run across Australia. He's got to go through the Forbidden Center area and see what's really out there. Yeah. Honestly, you might make that journey much faster than you expect because the moment these random animals are trying to kill you, you're going to really start running. So I think that's going to do it for our Go Battle League segment. So we'll catch Tristan next week, and then we'll cover the rest of the events right here. We're back, and if it abruptly cut to this part, it's because we had a technical difficulty, and it wasn't even Tristan's fault. It was Steve's fault.
Oopsies. Yeah, I mean, look, an alternative scenario is that for the last 8 minutes, I just wasn't there, and I might just
So I'll see what I can do from an editing perspective. Is it possible that I could just cut out the parts where Steve's talking, but then like if you do that, I had to cut out what we're responding to you on because we're like, why are they responding to random stuff, right? When nothing's happening.
I don't know.
Steve's face is gone.
No, it'll be a fun game for our listeners.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I said a lot in the last 8 minutes. Like I sort of checked through the recording. It was like, oh no, there's the speed run with the moveset. So at least it's holding up the middle part of the thing. So
yeah. I feel like towards the end we were like Caleb had ask Tristan directly for feedback, and like we were just kind of letting Professor Tristan go off.
So it might be completely unnoticeable. We'll find out, I guess.
We'll see.
If it's unnoticeable, kudos to myself because I made the magic work again. Anyway, let's talk about the actual like overall events outside of GBL. So Might and Mastery is new season. So obviously there's a lot of general season stuff. First, we got Kubfu is going to be debuting, and you could get it through Dynamax, which honestly, more motivation to do Dynamax now. And you can evolve it into single strike style or rapid strike style Urshifu. What's the utility of this? Is it good?
I mean, I think it could be. I haven't looked at the stats. It is gonna presumably have Aqua Jet, which is just got a big buff.
Wait, can you
So,
not evolve into Urshifu right now? I don't even see it in the rankings.
Actually, I don't know.
You can only evolve it into one of them. So
Yeah,
if you only do the free like seasonal research, then you will be able to only have one form of Urshifu.
Is it
But-
just too big for Great League?
Yeah.
I'm just loading in now because I caught it.
Okay, so it's available. Yeah. Wait, where do you get it? You just from a Dynamax?
It's in the timed research thing.
Yeah.
You've only got a few days, so you should get on it.
Wait, what? I
Um,
thought it's. Oh, okay. It's in the time research.
Yeah, it's
thing?
in the timed research.
Yeah.
You get the Dynamax. So if you're listening to this, you've probably only got like a day and a half. So hurry.
I need to do 3 raids.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Interesting. Yeah, it's not even
I
in
need
PvP
to-
Poke right now.
Gosh,
Yeah,
I need to raid more.
I don't think. Oh wait, you can't evolve it. The evolutions you can't evolve Kubfu. Is that
Okay.
Oh.
interesting?
That
Well,
is
but it's
interesting.
maybe they won't make it available until later in the season because it literally in the introduction page on the blog it says with enough training, Kubfu can evolve into one
Yeah.
of 2 forms of the Pokemon Urshifu. So like, is that something we'll just get access to later this season?
I think we just need to do a bit more training, Kaz. I think that's-
Apparently, the game knows that I don't raid enough.
well.
Yeah.
But you do
We'll
have,
find out, I
but even like this is the free one. There is
Yeah.
like the paid research that's special. So if you pay like $8 or your equivalent pricing or whatever, you can get access to another Dynamax Kubfu that's not timed. But you can only purchase that ticket from a couple days ago, March 5th to. Oh no, it's to the end of the season. Sorry, it's June 3rd. So you have the research.
Wait, are you sure?
Available.
It's
That's what it says on the blog.
because
It says
Well, that's a
available to
special-
claim.
I'm
That's the
reading
special research.
You can purchase a ticket for this special research from Wednesday, March 5th at 10 a.m. to Monday, March 10th, 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. God,
Wait,
there's
so you
just
get
so
2
much-
different Kubfu then, because there's the limited
Yes.
research and the special research.
There's the free one, and then there's the paid one.
The free one is the one you can wait. Now I'm confused. Which one can you get to the end of the season? I'm not seeing that.
Well, the free one's definitely not, right? I think the free one's.
Oh, hang on. The special. Okay, I see. The special research. Wait,
Yeah.
now I'm confused. So do we get 2 free Kubfus? Is that what we've just learned?
I don't know.
'Cause
You're the one that said we only get
No.
1 free Kubfu, so I'm
No,
just
no.
going off of what you said.
I think the Kubfu comes from the special research and not the timed research.
Well, no, because he got it. Because you got yours, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you already get yours?
I could be
From
mistaken.
the timed one? From
Yeah,
the time, like, do you remember?
Let's
Was
assume
it
I'm
from the
mistaken,
timed?
and let's check Leak Dark.
Yeah, I still have to
Leak
do
Dark
2
set me
more raids to even get the time one, so I don't even know.
straight. Okay, the special research is where I got it. I was mistaken. So I
Oh, okay. I got a little
shot
more
everyone with fear for no reason. But what you do get from the timed one is a Sharkadet that I think is Great League eligible. So
time. Okay.
Oh, another level 15 one. Nice.
yeah, I think so. So it's still reason to rush for it, I think. But,
Yeah, that one ends in 4 days, 3 hours is what it says for me. So
yeah.
you've got a little bit of time through the end
Okay.
of the weekend.
All right, so panic aside, do the timed research for an Armarouge or a Celerouge, and then buy the ticket if you want a second Kubfu to get the second evolution. But as we know, eventually you'll be able to get one anyway. So hopefully we find out if they're going to be PvP relevant sooner rather than later on that front. Seems like
It
not-
probably
well-
is going to be in some way, shape, or form, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's Great League or Ultra League or Master League.
Yeah,
But-
probably.
Yeah, I don't know what the CP value is on it, but my guess is it probably should be pretty high. I don't know. Okay, so Pokemon debuts coming out for Dynamax is Raikou, Entei, Suicune. Legendary beasts, not legendary dogs. I hate when people say legendary dogs. They're not even dogs. 2 out of the 3 are cats.
Mhm.
The other one's like a coyote, maybe. Like I don't even know if that one's a dog.
Yeah.
Dog people, man.
Kitties.
Anyway, Pokemon debut. We have Nickets, Thievul.
Yeah.
So they're like 2 fox-looking
Yeah.
bandits that are spawning from, or that will be debuting in the Galar region. So from Sword and Shield games, we'll see more of that. I don't know if those are going to be PvP relevant or not, but that's kind of some of the main things.
Probably not.
Guessing not.
Yeah. See. Oh shoot, we didn't predict our community days for next for April. I just
Oh,
realized.
let's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tag Tristan and see if he.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
April.
Maybe given the criteria, it's like what do you need? What was it like typing?
So it
Pokemon.
was region, Pokemon,
Yeah.
typing,
I think one.
and 1 or 2 types up to you.
Yeah, and like you get a point for each one. So if you guess 2 typings and they're both right, then you get like 2 points.
So at max you get 3 points. Was that what it was?
Max you can
No,
get
max
4.
4.
What's the 4?
So the
It's
2
region,
typings.
typing.
So if
Region,
it's like
2 typings.
Yeah. 2 typings, region,
And the Pokemon.
Oh, and the Pokemon.
Actual species.
Okay. It's anything in the family. Well, I guess you always guess the most pre-evolution one, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we want to make our predictions now? For
We can have him type it out here. We'll wait until we get to the actual community
okay.
guessing thing. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it towards. I need to think on it. Is what I'm saying. I'm not ready. Personal reasons. It's not like we can't do it now.
I see.
But yeah, so there's community days. Obviously, there's going to be 5 community days. There's a classic in May. So it's good that we have it laid out. So we have April, May, and then May classic.
I definitely have a pretty solid guess for May.
Oh, for May?
Yeah.
But April, though.
April is coming up next, and I got
I
nothing.
need to think on the May one.
I've got my guess for the record.
Okay.
For April?
Yep. I'm locking in.
See, Kaz is shoes on the other foot right now. She's using one quiz than us, and now she's like, "You're ready already." This is how I feel when Kaz's corner rolls around. I'm like, how? Like, how do you have an answer?
At least
ready?
there's context when I ask you guys questions. This one is just
no. We're just looking at a picture of a Corsair trying to see if it has feathers, and I don't even know that I'm supposed to look for feathers. All right. Seasonal rotations. So this is okay. These are the research breakthrough stuff. Alolan Marowak, Mawile, Druddigon, Jangmo, Charcadet, and Frigibax. They're okay. I don't hate them.
Is the Charcadet from research? Is that also good? That's
It's gotta be
also
level
level
20.
Oh, it's 20. Okay.
Wait, is it? Are these level 15? Because I remember back in the old legendaries, they were level 15 encounters. I haven't even thought about it since.
Actually, research is supposed to be. No, research is 15. Yeah, research is 15.
It should be.
Because you can also
okay.
get a brand new Great League Poltegeist for the first time in the current thinger, because it's in research now. It was only in raids.
So
also heads up, try and
maybe
find
the
those
time
research
research
tasks.
not as important as Steve makes it seem. But no, let's definitely do it if you can. Different Pokemon will appear in the wild. So in the cities, honestly, nothing too exciting. I'm just looking at it. Nothing like Ampharos maybe the most exciting. I don't know. In the forest, there's Fungus maybe for the Stardust. Everything else is like pretty underwhelming. Mountain. Nothing's good. I mean, you can get Clodsire, I guess, and Whooper if you don't have a good rank 1.
Yo, beaches in water.
You get Whalmer.
Let's go. Roll out
So-
Whalmer, ready to
So
go.
nothing
Get
useful in
grinding.
this one either. Northern Hemisphere. We got Froakie maybe. I don't know. Some bunch of starters for this one, and then
Spring
Southern
Deerling.
Hemisphere. Help me out here. No, nothing good. Anyway, these are pretty underwhelming spawns, but hopefully there's more to the and more part that's interesting. 2-kilometer eggs, nothing worth hatching in my opinion. 5-kilometer eggs, nothing worth hatching. Maybe the Munchlax and Riolu? I don't even know. 7-kilometer eggs, Galarian Corsola, definitely worth hatching. Wait! Oh, okay. So okay. Oh, this is a good instance. This synchron. I don't even know if this is possible, but this has got to be new. So Galarian Corsola, obviously the main one you want to hatch from 7-kilometer buddy eggs. Route rewards, the Mateo eggs. You can get Galarian Corsola for sure, but you can also get white stripe form Basculin, and it could be shiny. Was this shiny eligible before?
Yeah.
It was.
It
Okay,
was
super
shiny.
rare, right?
Yeah, shiny was made available during the Sinnoh tour because it included all the Hisui stuff as well.
Okay. It just was like, oh right. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they
just
all
was
been
super
rare.
rare. Yeah, because it's only during rounds.
Yeah.
I don't think it was eligible in eggs before this though. In Mateo
You might
eggs.
be wrong, but I'm not confident.
I don't think it was.
How about you say I might be right, but you're not confident?
I honestly don't think it's been available in eggs or research of any kind since the tour
Since the route,
last year. So
That's what I'm thinking.
like I can't think of anything because I remember I wasn't able to really play that event. I was out of town.
No,
and
confirmed. It has been in Mateo X.
Where? Oh, when?
I
Since then?
I see a Reddit post from 3 months ago. So
that just shows how often I do routes.
Well, in particular, even if you do routes, how often are you hatching Mateo eggs, right? So
you need an egg spot available, and then you need to be lucky enough to get the egg. I mean, we talked about this back in the Galarian Corsola accessibility problems.
Yeah.
Because these eggs aren't like the Mateo eggs. Are they eligible to like go into your overflow?
Wait, how do Mateo eggs even happen? Because
you get them from the postcard, right?
The gift that you open.
Oh, he gives you a gift and you open it?
Yeah.
Oh, you open it on the spot. Okay, so you have to have an egg slot available right when you finish a route.
Yeah.
But if you have all 9 spots filled, but you have the 3 extra underneath, it has to be one of the 9 spots, right?
Yes.
Wait, so you can't even hatch 12 7-kilometer eggs at once?
The only eggs that go into your like 3 overflow spots are ones from rocket leaders and adventure incense.
Mm-hmm.
Or adventure sync,
adventure sync.
Yeah, I can wait. I knew that before, but I just like forgot because it's been so long since I like tried to coordinate any of that. But okay, well, best of luck with the Mateo eggs. Honestly, it's actually not that bad because even if you don't get the white stripe Basculin, you can still potentially get Galarian Corsola, right? So I think it's fine. 10-kilometer eggs, Larvesta's in there, nothing crazy. Dreepy, Charcadet, and then from the adventure sync rewards, it's just missing Charcadet. That's honestly the non-adventure sync rewards is better in my opinion, but that's just my thoughts. Seasonal bonus, increased friendship bonus dealt by Pokemon in raids. Okay, I mean, it makes things a little bit easier. Guaranteed receiving 1 rare Candy XL for catching 5-star raid boss during raid hour. That's a very specific one for trainers level 31 and above. Wait, so you're guaranteed 1 rare Candy XL for you have to catch the raid boss or beat it?
It says catching.
So after I catch let's say I catch a Palkia from raid hour, you get a rare Candy XL on top of it too? That's weird.
I guess so.
Catching seems odd. But
that's odd.
I would think it would be like for defeating the raid, but they specifically use the word catching.
Well, those raid hour yesterday that I didn't do, but
me neither.
Well, maybe I'll find out next week, or someone in the comments down below can let us know. Trainers 31 and above receive 1 guaranteed Candy XL while trading. That's a good one for sure. Mm-hmm. Increased Stardust for the first catch of the day. I gotta be on top of that because I'm always very particular about what I catch first of the day. And then that's about it for the season. I think the seasonal bonuses are pretty solid. Eggs, Wildest Pokemon spawning, really underwhelming, but that's just me. But it's fine though because we have like a million events all the time. And yeah, that's going to be the season. I think it'll be a pretty good season overall. People are always excited about the GBL like moveset update, especially if it's like a big one. I always wonder how long it takes before people get kind of tired of it.
Well, we made that bet in September, right?
We were
we were kind of wrong in that one, but they introduced like Rage Fist and Annihilape and Primeape. In the last season, they introduced Galarian Corsola, right? So like they've been, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, right? Them introducing newer Pokemon, not like at the beginning of the GBL season. So it kind of like It's like almost like a mid-season like update, mini update
Yeah.
that shifts the meta a little bit, which
Although
I don't hate.
my prediction is that people are going to get really sick of Lapras. I really think that people are going to get so sick of Lapras after, they have to keep facing it. I think that's going to be the complaint mon, personally. But
What's the answer to Lapras here? You see like more Ferrothorn maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about how Grumpig beats it.
Aw.
But also, if you're swapping to Psywave, then, the new Emolga might not mind as much.
No, I was the Lapras into Emolga once, and I was also the Emolga into Lapras. That match was so annoying. Because if
Really?
you shield the Sparkling Aria, they just like one-shot you with the Ice Beam, yeah. And like you can't like
Wow.
one-shot it with a... Yeah, I tried running Molga a decent amount, and it was like... It was not it.
Disappointing.
Yeah, it was okay. It felt good, but like it felt like you had to... It's not like a Zapdos, so you had to shield everything, but you felt like you had to shield it. Like against a Gastrodon, I'm like, dude, this body slam's adding up,
Yeah. Well, there's always the fun police of Morpeko. So.
But that's the thing too. You have to shield Sparkling Aria.
You have to shield Morpeko all the time anyway. So like,
true. Yeah, which is why
you're not playing it any different than you already did.
I've been running Morpeko, and that's why I know it's like super annoying. Yeah, I'm very curious to see if Morpeko makes it into like more official tournaments because I think it's really fun to play. It's just really hard to utilize. But
well, with all the Psywave users, I think it has more of a chance now to sort of break through into Show 6, but.
It's okay. Like its best matchup is probably Lapras, but Grumpig and Malamar still could like one shot you. So it's just like it's a weird feeling, But the pacing is nice on it, no doubt. Okay, well let's get into a powerful potential event, and I'm not like editorializing here. That's literally the name of the event. This is related to Kubfu debut March 5th to March 10th, which means it's live now and it's going to end soon. This will probably answer our questions on the Kubfu thing. So yeah, new special research. Here we go. Stories coming out. You'll be reaching new heights. You can claim this special research anywhere from March 5th to June 3rd. What is the time part of this? Because it's like a 5-day event, right? But like Kubfu is available for the whole season.
That's just the season. Like the season starts at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
The season ends at 10 a.m.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, what's the actual part of it? Because it's not really a Kubfu. The whole season is like a Kubfu debut, right? Charcadet, though, is hatching from 2, 5, 7, and 10 kilometer eggs. And you can get a shiny Charcadet for the first time. So, that's kind of nice, I guess, for the shiny hunters. 1/4 egg hatch distance when placed in an incubator during this event.
You need to complete the time to research to unlock that, I think. Is complete the research tasks to earn items and an encounter with Charcadet and to unlock the following event bonus, quarter egg hash distance.
Ooh, well, I better finish these raids ASAP then to do that. Yeah. Event bonuses, 1/2. Okay, well, at least there's this. At least 1/2 egg hash distance during the event. And then, and you get the 1/4 once you complete it. Max battles, Dynamax, Grookey, Score Bunny, Sobble, and then Gigantamax is coming back actually on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, that's kind of nice. I mean, because I know some people miss out. I still don't have a Gigantamax Charizard. Gigantamax Venusaur, Charizard Blastoise all coming back into 6-star max battles this weekend.
I don't have any of those, but again, like it's kind of frustrating that it's just all weekend and not like enhanced at a certain time period because that makes it. You definitely need a lot of people to do these. It makes it harder to coordinate with people if like they're just sort of whenever.
For sure. The good part is at the moment in time, these max battles are still like their system of their own and very PvE oriented. So you do miss out on it. Hopefully it's not the end of the world. I still never did one of those Dynamax birds. So I'm missing quite a few. I was definitely into it when it first dropped because I thought it was kind of cool. But then eventually I was just like, what is the point of this grinding?
I went and did the birds. Had to. Those are just the rules.
Did you get any worth powering up?
Yeah. I actually got a shiny Articuno that was like a 96%. So
oh, okay.
that's very nice.
Okay. Nice.
It knows it's my favorite.
We'll see it in maybe the Gigantamax Venusaur battles. There's a bunch of raids. Nothing too crazy. I guess Hisuian Typhlosion in 3-star raids. I don't think that's even eligible for. Can you swap that for Great League?
I don't think so.
I think there's one way to swap it, but maybe it was like a research one. I don't even know.
Yeah,
And then there's the paid research where you could get a separate research to encounter Dynamax Kubfu again. So you can technically get up to 2 this season. So
And-
there's $8 paid research USD.
Yeah, and remember, Kubfu cannot be traded, transferred, or transferred to home. So once you have it, it's yours forever.
And then
with all of its terrible stats, I'm sure.
Yeah. 10, 10, 10 inbound.
I'm gonna get the hundo. Just watch. I'm gonna get the hundo. I'm calling out ahead of time.
Actually, can I suggest that you might not want the hundo?
Wait, why? Why?
I have a feeling because level 15 Urshifu does fit in Great League. A hundo does not. Barely.
You can't trade it, right?
No. Like it comes out of research. Great League eligible when you evolve it.
No,
Not
I
if
know,
it's
but
a
I'm saying
hundo.
you can't trade the Kubfu in general, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But like if you get a hundo, it's too big for Great League.
No. You were about the wrong thing. I'm gonna get 2. One for Great League. One for Master League.
Right. You might want both versions. I mean, you've got 2 different evolution lines.
True. You're okay. Well, I guess it's a win-win for me, is what I'm hearing. Field research task encounters. Nothing too crazy here. Oh wait, no, this is a good one though. Hisuian Typhlosion should be eligible to reroll under.
Oh,
Yes.
So that's actually good. Do those, and then Sinistee is also in it. I don't have a Sinistee. I know it's not debuted, but I don't have a Sinistee. Do you all have Sinistee already?
Yeah, it was in raids during Perth
it was-
regionals.
Yeah, it was raids only.
Well, that's why. That's why I didn't do it.
I managed to get one of the antique forms as well.
Oh,
Wait,
do we know how
what?
rare
What's
that is? It's got that stamp on the bottom. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Where's it made?
is.
Made in where?
I don't know. I can't see it in the Pokedex or whatever. Like you
Wait,
can't
what? You
actually
can't see? How do you know you got a
Yeah.
stamp one then?
because it costs 400 to evolve instead of 50.
Oh. That's so
Yeah.
funny.
It's so ridiculous. Like
If it was real
it's-
life, it'll go for more at an auction for sure. But Pokemon, what does that do for you?
Okay. It looks like 1 in 100 roughly, according to
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah, so you'll see that it has the 400 to evolve instead of just the regular 50.
You can't flip it upside down or anything. Like, how do you? I just want to see what the label says. You know?
No, because even the animation, it thrusts towards you from the top,
spin it around.
not the bottom.
Spin it around
No.
and tap.
Wait. Okay. No, it's not angled enough. I still can't see it.
That's so annoying. It's so useless. What the heck?
Yeah.
And it's so small too, on the screen. I can't even tell if I could even see. Oh my gosh, yeah. No, absurd. It's
Wow.
absolutely absurd.
Oh wait. Okay. I'm googling it. Okay. Seal. There's a seal of authenticity. For it. What the heck does it say though? I'm trying to see if it says anything in particular, but I don't think it.
No, there's no way to see it in the Pokedex. Oh my gosh. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, okay. It says okay, it is some type of small sticker at the bottom, but all these images are so hard to see. What does it
Yeah.
say?
No, it's absurdly tiny.
It's so stupid. Okay, anyway.
Anyway.
I mean, I guess they don't want they can't be made in China because I don't even think China exists in Pokemon. Made in Kanto.
I don't think it says anything if I remember from when it was originally released in the console game. You could see the sticker, but it was
And
just
there's
kind of
it looks like
an
there's some text on
image.
it, right? But it's
It
too
looks
blurry.
like text, but it's not legible.
Yeah, I've just Googled it. It doesn't look like.
There's got to be someone in the world that knows
I'm sure
what it
there
is. Whoever the artist is had to write something, right?
Yeah.
What did they write is the real question. I don't know.
No, it's just lines. Is
Yeah, no. It's like there's a lot of places like when you play the console games, like there's a lot of places where you like see
Oh,
text,
it literally
but
just
it's
looked like
not
it literally looks like
legible.
squiggly lines.
Yeah, it's not real.
Someone found it because they did the AR photo and they just went underneath it.
Oh, that's actually good. That's clever.
I was like, why is there a door in the background of this photo? Oh, I see.
All right.
But anyway, that's pretty much the event, I suppose. So do some field research tasks is the bottom line.
That's right. Okay, let's take a look at the next event. It's Festival of Colors, yearly event we have Thursday the 13th to Monday the 17th, so next week. And Kovo surprise around Pokestops when they get close. What the heck does that mean? I don't know, probably some
Smeagol.
animation stuff. Smeargle in the Pokestops? Wouldn't that be
Kecleon?
Kecleon? Yeah.
Maybe. I just saw a picture of Smeagol. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Smeargle for sure, but like for the Pokestops, it's a little different. So event bonuses: lore modules activated will last for 3 hours. Bruxers will appear more frequently when trainers use incense, and then few snapshot daily for surprises. Is that Smeargle? Why wouldn't it just say
Yeah,
Smeargle?
shiny
Yeah.
Smeargle.
Shiny Smeargle is the thing.
Shiny
Yeah.
Smeargle. Which they do only release for limited periods.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't have one, this is your opportunity.
Yeah.
Incense will last 2 hours outside adventure incense, regular incense. So that's quite an increase actually from the standard 30 minutes. Wild encounters. Okay, so we also had the debut of Shiny Bruxish, which did get a buff this season. Nothing crazy, but it did get a buff.
It's interesting that it doesn't note Bruxish will be shiny like during the event bonuses, but it does with the wild encounters.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, well. It doesn't matter. It's
Who cares?
The random Flabebe are all spawning in their respective regions, so nothing crazy on that. They all could have been shiny before, and they still could be shiny now. What's in raids? Tapu Koko could be interesting because I forgot what they did with it more recently. Maybe like last season they had a buff. I don't know, but
was that no? It was Nature's Madness, right?
Yeah, but that's been a while ago. I don't know what it was. I feel like I've seen Tapu Koko in like Ultra League a few times, but I forgot why. They didn't buff anything really. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe someone people just wanted to run some spies. I mean, it's the worst rank one for Master League at least, so nothing to sing home for. But you never know when they update this because Tapu Lele is like 6th in the rankings right now, so like that's one that you probably never saw coming either. So raid them if you can, I guess. Mega Swampers and Mega Raids. And just some random time research. Nothing too crazy on those.
Yeah.
And then regional bonuses just for trainers in India, of course, because event is centered more around Diwali. And regional bonuses will be
It's Holly, not Diwali.
Oh, Holly. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Diwali's in the fall. It was like around like November, so yeah, my bad. Okay, so it's branch time research. We don't know what that is. 1-star raids featuring Pikachu wearing a kurta, and then 1 additional candy for catching Pokemon raids. Nothing crazy, but it's like still like a little nice bonus for them, I'd say. Get your
and Indian trainers are going to be getting hit with a lot of DMs about trying to get in on those remote raids.
Give me that Pikachu.
Yeah. So those could be shiny too.
Anyone in India, hit me up. I don't have one.
We'll talk more about Pikachu later because I'm a little pissed about one of the recent Pikachu events, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, and then for our final event that we're covering this week, it's just the Power Up ticket for March. I don't know if this is anything too crazy, but yeah. So, March 4th to April 4th, obviously. So this ticket, you get access to a bunch of things. Anything super worthy of notes? You get 1 additional Candy XL.
8 battle passes. You can open 50 gifts per day.
Yeah.
You can hold up to 40. 3 times XP for first catch, first spin. And
you can receive up to 150. Oh, just receive.
It's 100 at the moment, right?
So, yeah. I mean, I don't really hit that cap ever myself. So
I don't have that many people to send gifts to.
Because you can't. Because you can't send that many gifts. Like,
I don't think that's what's stopping me. I'll put it that way.
Wait, what do you mean? You can send all these gifts if their
Yeah.
friends can receive them, right? It's just you
Yeah.
can't open as many.
I don't have enough.
oh,
I don't
There's
have
no
enough
limit on how
friends
much you
to
can
open.
send. There's a limit on how much you can receive, which is the limiting factor.
oh God.
But I don't think Steve's sending 100 gifts per day anyway to begin with. So
I've got 300 friends that don't open their gifts, so it's
Yeah.
what about
And
the other
one
100
of them,
friends?
one of them is me.
they slowly. True.
Yeah.
Lucky friend never.
So the power up ticket gives you 8 premium passes, like Steve said, 2 max particle packs, 1 lucky egg, 1 star piece, 2 charge TMs, 2 fast TMs. Nothing too crazy, but something to maybe get if you like. It is $5 USD or equivalent in your specific country. All right, we don't have a Kaz's Corner this week, so we'll skip that. Championship Series, though, we do have, so let's talk about that briefly. No, there were no events until now, but
No.
Vancouver.
Whoa,
and-
the accent on that.
What did I say?
It's like Boston.
Vancouver.
No, because I was reading the other one. I was reading Fortaleza or whatever, right? And I was like saying like Fortaleza already in my
Hey,
head when I was reading
forget
it.
about it.
Vancouver.
Forget about
I'm
it.
cutting this out of the podcast. Come on now. All right. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. Championship Series, we got Vancouver and Fortaleza. I don't know why these two are laughing, but it's we got the Brolly metas for this one.
Yeah.
Fortaleza, where's that at? Is
I don't actually
Latin?
know. Yeah, it's in Brazil.
okay. Brazilian tournament. This is an interesting one. Vancouver got capped at 120.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a cap like this for an NA or EU tournament in a while for a regional, but they hit the cap.
Yeah.
And unfortunate for my buddy FreakyBot, who actually lives in Vancouver, didn't register in time for it. But I don't really blame him because, like, when does Go get capped, right? Like, there's a lot of people that sign up at the
Yeah.
very last minute.
Okay, now, can I hot take this in that, like, FreakyBot isn't the only one. I've seen a few people that were like, oh, what? It's capped. I was going to register. This sucks. I blame these people. I'm like, guys, I don't know if I'm just, been living large in the fact that, we hit cap in Melbourne last year and it was like, maybe that warning just flared out of my head that it's important. But guys, just register. It takes no time at all. When it's announced, you guarantee that you're going to get in on the inside of the cap. Like, it feels like it's just risk-taking behavior by not regoing. I don't know. Like, I think it's silly that it's capped at 120. I think that's incomprehensible.
Did they just announce the cap? Like,
well, we didn't know where the
today,
cap
or-
was. Like, it hit the cap was what we have
okay.
the reason that we know it. Because you can't rego anymore.
They never
But,
announced what the cap is, even for ICs. But
sometimes
ICs
they announce it for Australia. I know they announced it in the
But
past. Not
I
always.
guess for NA tournaments and maybe EU tournaments, I haven't seen them announce it. And the ICs, I've never seen them announce it. But usually ICs people find out because it fills up so fast, right?
Yeah,
At least for
yeah.
EU IC.
Yeah. Well,
I'd
because
say-
ICs are one where people definitely, they're like, oh, I'm going to go as soon as, like, tickets are available, people start registering. So, like,
I mean-
it's not one where people hold off. Whereas I feel like the regional events, people are like, well, there's not as much of a demand, so maybe I can fit it into, like,
But it's this
a later-
weekend. Like,
No,
less
I
than a
know.
week?
I know, I'm not.
I get it. But I think, your fellow countryman, AV Rib, missed his early registration and the
Yeah.
regular registration, right? So, like,
And we made fun of him for it. Deservedly.
I know you did not make fun for it. I almost commented under his tweet when he was saying how he got trouble for NEIC. I almost wrote underneath. I was like, make sure you register on time. But then I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do all that. I'm sure he's already learned his lesson.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so yeah, but I think the other point of that is even if they register early, someone still ends up missing registration, right? Like, it's still 120 spots. It's not like if
Yeah.
FreakyBot registers, all of a sudden everyone's happy. Someone's going to be unhappy about not registering. There is speculation that some people might have bought out some ghost spots for spectator tickets because spectator tickets are also sold out, but I don't know.
And
It's,
if you go, you also get the swag, which you don't get if you're a spectator.
I think the regional swag is pretty mid though.
No,
at least for
some
NA.
people like it. Like, I don't care about it at all.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Like a playmat, like we don't really use that playmat and like a card.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. So I mean, IC swag is a different story. That I totally understand why people buy out like
Yeah.
ghost spots for. But I mean, I guess if you want to spectate, that's the only way you go. It makes sense. But It's unfortunate that 120 is the cap because you won't even hit the 128 kicker no matter what you do, which is very unfortunate. I'm just surprised is all, I was surprised the cap is 120. Maybe they're just like, Ghost really not been like hitting the numbers really well, so they don't deserve as many spots, which I think if that's a decision from TPCI or the organizers, I think it's totally fair because it really hasn't. But it did increase a substantial amount since, because Vancouver's been, it's, I think, the only regional ever that has for Pokemon Go that has had every single year. I don't think there's a single other place in the world that's had a regional every single year. Am I mistaken?
Melbourne, if you count IC.
No, you can't count IC.
You can't count ICs.
Yeah, we don't count IC.
Perth.
Look at all this Perth slander, and meanwhile, Perth's like the holding it down for Australia, for the Aussies, right? No, but it's interesting data you could look at because you have all 4 years of data. 62, 2022, 67, 2023, 72, 2024. It's like inching up by a few, right? And then now we have over 120 that want to go. So like, I mean, maybe it's like the new season. I don't know. Like for me, like I don't even think it's a new season. That didn't make too much. Like I don't want to go to this one because the meta is so different. I wouldn't even like. I'm like, why am I prepping for one weekend meta, right? But I don't know. I mean, I guess if you win, it doesn't matter. But it's just like a lot of headache just to prepare for just this one. Like if you do practice tournaments, what's a practice tournament? You can't use Sidewave, right? Like it's just like, I mean, I'm sure some people do have those practice tournaments, but like it's just like particularly harder to prep for. But it's still like kind of exploded in numbers, which is good for the game for sure, right? Like I'm not complaining about that, but all I'm saying is like I can see why the numbers are capped. And maybe the cap before for Vancouver for Pokemon Go was always 120. We just don't know because we never came close to it.
Yeah, so that is interesting. That it is like they've got the data to sort of say like, 120 should be more than enough. We should be fine here, and then it's just not. But
and I know for a fact that Atlanta registration is already over 100, so maybe we'll find out soon if
you are going to Atlanta, book now. Do not wait.
Yeah, heed your own advice, Steve. I'll see you there. Book that spot. Book that spot. Okay. If you need me to grab you a Spectre ticket, I got you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Fortaleza, I don't know too much about how many people are registered for that one, but both of these will be the Brolly halfway meta tournament. So whatever we recap next week, take it with a grain of salt, No
Sidewave Lapras, no big Grumpig. It's
even Sable, I feel like it could be interesting.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I think the problem is like if people bring I think the plays bring Primeape for this one. Because if you bring Sableye, they got Power Gem Foul Play, they resist everything. Primeape has a lot more play into it than Annihilate does. No Sidewave users really yet at the moment in time. So I don't know. I've always liked the speed and pacing of Primeape, but it's just like the Annihilate matchup's super annoying to deal with, obviously, because they just counter you down. But that is
And then do we have is it Stockholm coming up soon?
Yeah, week after or 2 weeks after? Maybe 2 weeks after, actually. Because then the next week is like all of the Asia tournaments combined. Like,
that's going to be wild.
Yeah, that's going to be
that championship series episode is going to be a lot. Maybe I'll ask Anacor if he wants to be on that one too, because that episode might be like 5 hours long if he's on it. But...
Oh my god!
True.
Gonna talk about
I was gonna say,
every player's a big name for Anacor.
You ask Anacor to come on for that episode, and he's just gonna talk for like 3 hours.
This is how team. This is how you're like on the up and coming in the Pokemon Go competitive scene. Is if Anacor knows your name. Because if he's hyping you up, you're at least like kind of relevant, right? Maybe not super relevant, but if he says you are, right? But the thing is, if Anacor doesn't know you, then he's either just like took a break from the game, or
you've got some room to grow.
Or you're not from Asia, I guess. I don't know.
And it's Asia specific.
Yeah. He's like, this tournament's stacked. I was like, I mean, is it stacked because you know all the players? Because like, I'm sure it's all stacked. Like 90% of the one bracket is stacked at that point. Okay, so that's going to be that for Championship Series. Very curious to see how that plays out. Our co-host Tristan will be competing for sure. I think Galarian Corsa's busted right now though. Still, even with the Nightshade nerf. I was looking at some people helping them team build, and I'm like, dude, you're only like if they don't have Diggersby, I'm like, your only answer to this thing is Shadow Drapion. Like that's it. Like you can't like be that weak to it because even if you have a Diggersby, people are still willing to bring Galarian Corsola into you. It doesn't change that because I've been in that situation and it's just still like so rough. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure Galarian Corsola, Zimro, Drapion, the usual suspects will be pretty high in usage. Probably Diggersby is my opinion, but we shall see. Yeah, Emolga maybe, but again, Emolga's really hard to use in general, even the new meta. So
yeah,
And there's the waters aren't like there's no Lapras or anything to.
there's no Lapras, but there's
Yeah.
Blastoise to annoy you with at least. But
It
it's
can't
just
have
like
rollout either.
huh?
There's no rollout Blastoise either, right?
Well, that's good for Emolga. I feel
Oh,
like.
right. I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that thing's even more annoying into Emolga, I think. But yeah, okay. We have our let's head down to the community day predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Did Tristan write something yet?
He's put it in spoilers, so don't click on
Oh,
it.
okay, good. I haven't. Okay, let's all type it out at once. So, what do we want? We want Pokemon.
So you've
Well,
got to guess
obviously
the
one of the
Pokemon.
typing.
So the Pokemon and Tristan
Well,
brings up a
honestly-
great point in that. So there were sort of different point scenarios. So you can
Okay.
guess the Pokemon species, you can guess the region it's from, and you can guess the typing. And you can guess 2 typings or 1 typing to sort of get the double points and whatnot.
So
Now-
why don't we just write the Pokemon? Because that just like it gives all the info.
Because
then
you
and
could
there.
guess separate. So like you could guess Kanto, Kubfu, Firegrass typing to sort of spread your guess. So
What?
that- 'cause
If
here's the thing.
you get Kubfu, then it's already not the other
It's
stuff. What do
a
you mean?
terrible guess. No. But this is like you're trying to spread your chances of getting points. So
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
yeah,
Yes.
that was the entire.
That's so
reason
weird,
why
though.
this-
Yeah.
We talked about this for 2
I
different
thought
episodes.
you. I know, but I thought you just go all in. Like you say, Charmander. It's Kanto, Fire, and Charmander's your thing.
Oh, and if you get like if you happen to be right on Kanto, or you happen to be right on. Like I actually
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the logic in that.
Yeah,
but
that would
it
make more
wasn't-
sense because you're guessing one community day Pokemon, right? Like you can't shoot your shot at like 5 different directions, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I already told Tristan he could do the other way, but I'm pretty sure I feel like it was written the other way. We should probably do your way in the future though, because that actually makes more sense.
I think we should do my
Wait.
way right now.
Wait,
And just-
what?
So Caleb's interpretation was you can guess Charizard, right? And
Yeah,
that's your guess.
Right.
If it's a different Kantomon, that would be points. If it's also a fire type or a flying type, then it would also you would get points.
Yeah.
But you don't get to pick
Oh.
Charizard, water typing, Unova region.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise,
you're-
it just makes no
yeah.
sense. Like,
Well, I
Well,
think the problem
I-
is that you would always guess so Kanto is like the biggest region, right? It's got 150 Pokemons.
yeah.
So like you're sort of more likely to pick a Pokemon in the big regions to just maximize your chances of hitting.
I
wide
see. I see.
Mhm.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, too, if you go by the other logic, then you would always
Then you
just
pick it
guess
every time.
Kanto.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
would
a
always
good
guess
point as
Kanto,
well.
right?
Hmm.
I feel like it removes the genuineness of where us actually trying to guess the community Pokemon. We're just like trying to cover as many bases as possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what? You might be right. I think
Yeah.
okay, let's do it this way.
Let's ask Tristan to like
Yeah.
maybe just ask him to like write like just like clarify that for him. Because it doesn't matter if he writes it later, right, than us, because we can always just like add that later. Like he doesn't need to give a response right now. It's just that we can't know each other's before then. All right, I need to look at
Based on that one Pokemon.
I need to see like historically what the list is of what we've had already.
Yeah. And I guess then the point scenarios as well. So you get 1 point for getting the region correct. You get 1 point per typing correct. And if it's a monotype, then it's just double points if you happen to land it correctly.
Yes.
And the actual getting the species correct, I feel like originally it was 1 point. I think we should make it 3. I think if you nail the species, you'll get it all right. So it doesn't actually really matter.
Yeah, you should. You probably just win.
You just,
off
you
that.
just win anyway.
Yeah,
So-
if you lose that makes no
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it doesn't
that's
really
like
matter how many points, but if you get it, you win. That's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And for those that didn't listen to previous episodes, because they might have just clicked this one for the moveset update, the idea here is that if you play the community day, you've got to transfer 75% of the shinies that you catch of this species if you lose the bet. So if you
Or
sort
any
of-
shinies you have, I guess, right? Because we don't know if you caught it or not. Let's say like it's a shiny that's already been out. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like when Gibble came out, there was already shiny Gibble, right? You had to transfer 75 of your existing shiny Gibble shinies.
Yep.
But yeah. So, Okay.
I think I've still got my guess.
Wait, what the heck? This thing stopped updating. I'm looking at this Pokemon Go Game Press website. It stopped updating in January 2024. What the heck is that?
I can link you somewhere that does sort of have them all, I guess.
I don't know. I found one that has it all.
Okay.
Okay.
Tricky.
This is a weird one, I feel like.
Yeah, because
I'm so
this
lucky.
one,
You're locked in.
Yep.
like this one, literally, there's no basis. Like
That's why it's good.
I know. That's why it's difficult. All right.
Looks like I'm probably gonna have to drop before we hit YouTube comments, but
Yeah.
I'll still be here to bet up.
So let me get this straight before I
Yep.
type this in. We are guessing just kind of the final evolution.
Yeah. Base it on the final evolution in terms of like the typing and stuff.
Do you want me
Charizard
to-
instead
But
of
you
Charmander.
can write the pre-evolution.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
know what you mean. Like it evolves,
Yeah.
unless it's like something that doesn't involve, like it can involve
Yeah.
multiple routes, I guess. But I think usually those are included. Anyway.
So are we just typing in that name, or do you want me to type in like all the other information?
No. We know if you pick Charizard, we know it's Kanto region.
Yeah. Well, I'm not picking Charizard.
This is actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'll answer pretty quick. Watch me be correct. It's gonna be sick.
Oh,
I've
are we?
played
We
this
should.
mainframe.
We should use spoiler tag too for Tristan.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to. Like he's
Well, for-
actually just locked in that he picked the same.
Oh,
Pokemon.
he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we don't need to.
Oh,
Alright.
so we don't need to because we're all just gonna kind of like Kaz's corner,
Yep.
like just type at the. Okay. Well, I've got mine typed.
Wait.
out.
Give me one more second. Give me one more second. I need to.
One miss.
No. Sorry. Wait, more than 1 second.
Two.
Wait, how do you all know like so fast already? What the-
I
there's
just
no logic to
looked,
it, man. Vibe.
Yeah, there's no logic to it. I just looked through the Pokedex and I kind of looked at which ones I felt like were somewhat likely.
Look, I knew what I was looking for, and I only had two options, and I went for the one that spoke to me.
Oh, dude, you guys are way ahead of me. I feel like.
Remember when we were like gonna prepare to have these like last week, like ready to go?
I feel like we've been preparing for this for a while, but
yeah, we've been talking about this for months. Who is Josh? Is going to be out there going like, guys, are we getting to this bed or
okay, I got it.
or Debbie Pebble's alt account?
Okay, all right,
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, send.
Oh,
Oddish.
interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so I went for Oddish.
Okay.
So, Kanto. And we're going for the grass poison for the Vileplume because technically it's a split Evo. So it's like, I'll just pick one.
Well,
my guess is if there is actually Oddish Community, you could evolve into all of them anyway.
Yeah,
So
but like
they
for
should
the
be
typing
all-inclusive.
point.
and Blossom is still like grass. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just not like doubling down on grass type.
Well,
It's-
yeah. That'd be ridiculous if we limit that for you. Wait, what did Tristan put? Palmots?
Yeah,
Okay.
Palmot.
Oh, yeah, that's like the electric
interesting.
fighter.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe I went a little too
he said
bold with
electric.
mine.
He said electric flying, but like
No. So
Palmot.
that was when he guessed originally.
Oh.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
updated
Oh,
it to
yeah,
just
yeah,
lock
yeah.
in Palmot. Now, Kaz, I think you can guess what type of Pokemon Kaz might have picked.
I just listen. If it's totally random, I'm just gonna go with my favorites.
I will
So,
say, I would not even hate Pidove because I'm weirdo. I'd mass evolve like my 12 candy Pokemon still. Or if I like ever trade for like anything that is 0 candy after you trade, like Pumpkaboo
Mhm.
and stuff like that, Trevenant, I still save those to evolve for free, right? I ran out of candies for Pidove. so I kind of need some of that candy. So I wouldn't hate it. It would just be like a really bad I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be super great, but I put Arctibax, which is like maybe a little too early.
Yeah.
I think that's a little
You're
premature.
so silly, Caleb. That's a June guess for sure.
Yeah, that's the June guess for sure.
Don't steal my answer for June. I locked it in early.
Nope.
Can't steal it.
Nope.
Wait, why do you think it's a
Steve.
June guess? Is usually June is
Because
Yeah. Look at the previous
After-
two Junes. So
Shoot.
Yeah,
you were
after
right.
GoFest,
Damn,
they always
Gumi,
do it,
Gibble.
like, weird dragon. Yeah.
Slack was the year before.
So
though.
I think we all know what.
Background was April 2019.
yeah, they didn't decide it back then.
Yeah.
Well, let me go back another year.
If you're
Oh, wait, there
going
was
back
no-
to
there
like
was another year.
pre-COVID, then we've got a
No,
problem.
because they also did Dratini was like the second one they ever did.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's clearly a new trend. You can't extrapolate that
Yeah.
far back.
Shoot.
But yeah. So,
Shoot.
well, Caleb, maybe you can get some region points or some typing points. I don't think you're going to get Dragon, but maybe Ice.
yeah.
I mean, if Caleb wins this thing, which he very well could, because, you know, this is such a crapshoot, it could just be a bomber snow and all of a sudden Caleb gets a point.
Or maybe
Yeah.
I'm just right. It's Arctibax. You know, let's not put out a question here. Well, the
I
thing is also
mean,
June.
for
Here's the thing with
Arctibax.
June. June is also the same month as GoFest.
Yeah. Look, let me put it this way. If it's Arctibax, I will transfer all of my shinies. Like, I'll get rid of them all. Like, I'm
You
so
all heard it
confident.
here first.
So confident it is
all
not
of your
Arctibax.
even if you don't lose last, you're still going to transfer all of them.
Yep, I'll lock it in. Like, I'll go the double down.
Wow, that's a win-win for me. I got nothing to worry about. I mean, I might just go lose this bet though.
Yeah, it's a lose. It's a double lose, double win. I guess.
I definitely did my research. You guys are right though. I think my chances are slim, but okay. Well, we'll see. Paul Motts for Tristan and Steve had Oddish. Kaz had Pidove.
Yeah.
Pidove is pretty good, I think too. Actually, I don't think that's like the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to play
was-
along, leave a comment. Guess your own. See if you
Yeah.
beat us.
ASAP.
I
though,
was
before this
actually
weekend.
I was actually torn between Pidove and Picky Peck, but
Oh.
I thought that maybe Unova was more likely to be featured since we just had the Unova tour.
How did you all think all this stuff in the 5 seconds we had to write this? I was just like sitting there trying to think what's not even been a community day.
I
Like,
knew I
was
was
like-
gonna guess a bird, Caleb,
When
so
you
that
wrote
narrows
Pidove,
it down a lot.
I legit was like, wasn't Pidove already community day? Then I realized it was Starly, but I was just like,
Yeah.
no, that's a good guess. I mean, either way, if it's Picky Pet, you still probably get a lot of points for it because of the typing. But
Yeah, I mean the typings are the same, so I was debating. So really, ultimately, it came down to like the region, and I thought in my head, I'm like, well, I think Unova is more likely to be featured than Alola. So
okay, well,
we'll see.
we shall see. I know. Look, I know people probably think my answer is dumb, but I also feel like there's a lot of people that are rooting for me to be right just to see Steve transfer 100% of his shots.
Hey, I'll lose all of my shiny Baxcaliburs. That's,
yeah.
that's if that's how we go. That's how we
Hey,
go.
take- I know it's too late, but please do your boy a favor, right? I'm pretty sure they set all the stuff way ahead of time because they might have like the announcement typed up ready to go once Play Coco community is done. But that is this weekend, so be sure to do that. All right, we have some tea topics too. Quick one from last time. I guess it's not as relevant anymore, dude. They just switched over the Go Battle League Cup last week from Master League Mega Edition to Master League Premier at 9 a.m. Pacific, which is 4 hours, less than 4 hours because it's 9:07, less than 4 hours before the league rotation.
Yep.
But my guess is that the last time we had the Mega Edition stuff, people were exploiting it and doing like multiple Megas and Primals. It was like Primal, Kyogre, Groudon, and then like Gyarados usually. And people found a way to exploit that with like multiple devices or whatever. And they probably didn't know how to patch it, I guess. That's my guess. So why they did it. But it's the last week of the season. They had a whole season to like fix this. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
It is what it is
And-
though, but
well, and I know a lot of people were looking forward to
Yeah.
trying out
I
Megas,
was.
because
Yeah.
it's something that we get so like access to so rarely.
yeah, it's a
Um,
fun like 1 week thing, and like it's the meta's like very unique and different, but it's kind of cool. And like in a way, it's more affordable because you could building
Yeah.
a mega Charizard is cheaper than building a mega Kyurem Black, right? So
Yeah. And so the fact that they not only that they announced it at the last minute, but also give no context whatsoever as to why. You know, like, yes, maybe it's still broken. Just say that that's why. Like, don't just like wait and then disappoint everybody.
Yeah.
It's just so frustrating.
Well, speaking of announcing things last minute, at least they announced the last minute, because this thing pissed me off personally a lot, right? Let's first and foremost, I'm not a shiny hunter really, so I don't really care too much about it. But it still annoyed me because even though I had the Unova LA ticket, I didn't have a lot of, I think I got like one shiny Pikachu with a hat, right? And there's like 4 different hat combinations and visor combinations. So that being said, I didn't even realize this because I wake up, right? People talking about the Pokemon Presents last week. And then in my team chat, Dijon's posting about he has like 9 shiny Pikachus with hats from the event. I was like, what? How? Like he wasn't even at the Unova tour. He was like UIC judging. And then people like, oh my gosh, how do you get it? He's like, oh, skill diff, whatever. I'm like, what do you mean skill diff? Like, what is happening, right? How did you get all these in like one day? And then I find out that Go Tour Pikachu spawned during the Pokemon Presents globally, not any at a local time, globally at the same time. Well, fantastic for Dijon, who was 8 a.m. or other people that are East Coast 9 a.m. or whatever in Europe, fantastic time too. I don't know what time it was in Australia, but for me,
1 a.m.
Okay, 1 a.m. I was 6 a.m. I wasn't waking up at 6 a.m. to watch Pokemon Presents. I'll just watch it later. I wasn't going to do like a reaction video or stuff like that. I'm sure there's people that do, and I'm sure a lot of people were up for it, but not everyone was up for that, first and foremost, because it wasn't like it's going to be released at a local time. It's always at the same time, right? Everyone, and that's fine. I'm not blaming the Pokemon company for doing that. But Niantic, why wouldn't you just tell people that this is going to be a little thing, a fun little thing for 1 hour, right? Okay, I think it's cool. It's a nice surprise, whatever. Everyone's excited if people are up. But what about people that didn't stay up for it, right? What about people that maybe have to work a 9 to 5 if they can't wake up at like 4 a.m. to watch this and go back to sleep? And on top of that, catch Pokemon at 4 a.m. I think I'll say the idea itself, fine, novel, cool, nice surprise. But the problem is it's not announced right ahead of time. So people that slept through it or weren't awake for it, didn't know about it, weren't going to play it. 2, it's going to happen at an odd hour. Like, what do you want? People walking around at 4 a.m. trying to catch these things, right? It's very inconvenient for a lot of people, right? Depending on where you live in the world. And 3, you just didn't even announce it ahead of time. Even if those 2 previous inconveniences were still there, I would still appreciate if they announced ahead of time. I know people will still complain even if that they announce ahead of time, but it's like a triple slap in the face for it to not even be announced and just surprise happen and people wake up and be like, dude, I didn't even get a chance to catch stuff. Again, I'm not a big shiny hunter or anything, but it just annoyed me that they wouldn't even have the courtesy to announce it, even if it's such an inconvenient time for a good chunk of people in the world. Anyway, that's my rant. I don't know how you two feel about it, but I was super peeved when I saw this because I was just like, how did you get this stuff, right? And then Tristan responded in my team chat. It's like, oh, I mean, they've been spawning for the event. I was like, no, I get that, right? Trust me, I get that. But like, I was playing Unova Tour in LA in person all weekend, and I got like 1 or 2, right? So like, how the heck did Dijon pull out 9 all of a sudden on a random Monday or Tuesday when he just got back from Europe? Like, it makes no sense to me. And then Dijon's like, because I don't think Tristan was awake or he didn't know it was happening either, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a chance you're watching Pokemon Presents and you're not catching Pokemon Go. You don't have the app open because you're like in bed at 6 a.m. trying to watch and like half falling asleep.
I
right?
was
like,
on my couch in my pajamas.
Yeah. Like, even for you, like, I mean, 9 a.m. is like not the best time to grind, but you can theoretically. But like, you're also going to be watching Pokemon Presents, right? Okay, just tell people ahead of time. They can have it like minimized on like the side while they walk around and play. I don't know. It's just like,
well, once again, it's just like the inconsistency of their communication is the most frustrating thing. It's like, just listen. We get it.
Yeah.
We get that it's broken, that you don't always, plan to announce these things, but like, come on.
Well, the thing with this one is that it's not inconsistency in communication, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they plan to not communicate it and like surprise people. I think this was like a very planned surprise thing. certain planned surprise things that Niantic's done in the past, I think is fine, right? Like the Galarian birds, for example, when they released them into Adventure Incense. Really cool idea. Everyone's super hyped. They're like, what the heck is this? I can't even catch this damn thing. But hey, it's still cool. And you can always get more chances when you do more daily Adventure Incense. This is like a one-time, 1 hour in a very, very inconvenient time thing. At least tell us you're going to do it. Yes, it's a cool surprise for people. Like, okay, I'm not saying like everyone's upset about it. I guarantee some people really happy going about their day, watching some Pokemon present, and then, oh shoot, there's all these Pikachu. I'm having the blast time of my life, right? You got Dijon bragging about his 9 shiny Pikachu calls. Like, oh my god, what's happening, right? And certain people are seeing it. But the amount of people that you made happy, I guarantee, does not outweigh the amount of people you frustrated, right? And again, I'm not a big shiny hunter, and I'm annoyed. I could only imagine how big shiny hunters are annoyed about this too, right?
Can I give you my take?
Yeah. What's your take? I feel like it's a little different from mine, but go ahead.
I could not care less.
I know you don't care less, right?
Yeah, I
Pikachu
don't.
have been spawning the whole time. It's like, yeah, if you want to get 1,000,000 shinies, sure, whatever. But like,
Yeah, I feel like the only people, like the people who are most upset are the like hardcore shiny grinders and
Caleb
losing the DJ.
I'm pissed.
Caleb losing the Dijon.
I'm curious. No, I don't even care about Dijon. Dijon can have 1,000,000 shines for all.
Yeah,
I care.
but you
I
keep
just didn't have a
calling him
chip.
out.
Well, no, because that's well, no. I just want to give you all an example of how much shiny someone could have got if they just played the hour. I don't even know he played the whole hour. Because my thing is, he probably didn't even play the whole hour because he didn't even realize what's happening.
Like, some people play an hour and they still don't get those shinies, Caleb.
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah, exactly. But those rates are probably higher than regular for sure, right? I paid like over $100 for the in-person LA Unova tour, and I got here. Let me just check. I think I got 1 shiny. 1 ran on me because my Go Plus got it, but I got 2. I got 2 in a whole weekend.
I'm so sad.
In a whole weekend.
maybe should have grinded harder, bro.
You'll never recover from this.
It's
Yeah,
not-
you should take Steve's advice. He's the number
No,
one
it's
Pokemon
not-
Go grinder.
All right, Kaz, what's a bird shiny that hasn't come out yet?
That hasn't come out
Yeah,
yet.
it hasn't come out yet. What's your favorite bird Pokemon?
The
That's not
okay,
legendary.
well,
Not
those are
legendary.
two.
Not
Those
legendary.
those are two different things, though.
Okay,
because
not-
Pidgeot is my favorite, and the shiny is available.
Okay, how about this? Shiny Pidgey comes out. 4 different hats, visors could be shiny. They drop it when you're in the middle of sleep, and you wake up, you don't get a single one, and you play all week, you get maybe 1 out of the 4.
But Caleb,
how would you feel?
Caleb, my luck is so bad that I'd be like, well, I'll get it when it comes for the next event.
No,
anyway.
but there will be no next event because that Pidgey's never wearing a visor again. It's a one and done thing.
Except for the
I'll
full
be
weekend
fine.
coming.
I will
and
be
the-
fine.
I don't know.
Because
Maybe-
I already
again,
have a regular shiny Pidgey.
Maybe this is my own tea topic, and I like no one else cares. But I was just super annoyed with Niantic on that.
That
right?
is in fact
Like,
what is happening.
I just remember like I was more annoyed about this than the freaking Master League thing, you know? Because like I wasn't like I didn't really have a Master League mega team planned out and stuff. But I was just like, dude, like I get the Mega Master League thing, why they didn't do it. This one is just like I don't know. Okay, maybe it's just me. Let me know if I'm tripping or not. But I was just so like unpeeved by it. I was like, dude, like, and like I thought like maybe I was just having I thought I was having a bad day like at the time, but I'm still pissed about it. So clearly it's not the day thing, right? This has been like a week later. Shoot, man, I need to take.
Shoot.
Anyway, that's my rants for the week.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably not what people expected, but I just,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, do you have the dip for the YouTube
I've
comments?
got to go.
Okay, all right. We'll cover the YouTube comments without Steve. Okay, we're back. All right, so before we get into the comments, something else that reminded me of him while we're waiting
my
for
God.
our video to process with Steve. I feel like you agree with me. A lot more people agree with me on this one too. That Unova Tour global event was super underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely agree with you on that.
what was there? It was just a black and white Kyurem release, and that was it, right? Like,
Literally, it was only raids. That's the only reason people were out, because nobody was getting like any shinies from any of the like rotating spawns or whatever.
yeah.
How
many shiny Pikachu did you get with the visor?
Zero.
See?
Absolutely zero.
Dude, the best part of the week was probably the 1 hour during the Pokemon Presents.
The only shinies I got that like I was somewhat proud of was that I did get a Deerling from each season. Like, and that's it. Those are my only like new shinies that I got for the whole weekend is those 4 Deerling.
Yeah.
I got one shiny Kyurem out of like 30 raids that I did, which is not a lot, like compared to some people out there, but like, yeah, what were we even doing? And there were no other like worthwhile bonuses other than like the raids. Like the wild spawns, like were obviously like were not boosted in any way. The eggs were really disappointing. The fact that the new shiny regionals were only in 10k eggs, like, and it's not even a guaranteed drop.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were posting across multiple servers that I'm in on Discord that they like only hatched a like non-shiny regional that they needed like after the event, like from their 10k eggs.
I
Like
think
someone,
also
like someone just posted that they just got a Bouffalon like from an
Yeah.
egg that they hatched like today.
Yeah. I think also like the Go Tour perks. I'm talking about even the in-person one because I played the LA one too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the two most unique things they added, I think, was the Go Tour Pass, which was like, it was okay. The rewards really got like diminishing effects towards the end, right? I think most people just did like the first 100 or so, and then like there were no more Pokemon counters, and you could get some extra starters, but that's about it. But like I wish the starters actually increased. I wish the starters was worth grinding for because it went up to like level 500 or something on the Go Tour Pass, but it was just like 50 dust or 100 dust by the end.
Yeah.
Like,
it was just 50. Like the last day, like I had already completed all the pass rewards and stuff. So then the last day of the global event was just me getting more of that Stardust, but it was just like 50. So I didn't click on it throughout the day. I only got all my rewards at the very end, and it was only like 2,000 dust or something.
Yeah.
So like,
I think if they ramped up the dust every time, right, is more and more dust, right, 100 more, whatever, 1,000 more every time, then it's worthwhile, right? Imagine if the last Stardust claim was like 250k, and everything leading up to was leading up to that. That'd be nice. Yeah. That'd be nice. It's not going to kill you kill Niantic, your company, for people to get a little bit more Stardust, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But then that would make people want to play the event more, right? I do think I like the idea, and I hope they implement for the future. But it just
No, I think the idea is there, but the execution just was not very good. Because most people that I know that had purchased that pass, they only purchased it to get that lucky trinket. Like that was
and the Victini, right? I think the Victini came.
Well, people weren't even like that excited about having another Victini. They were just whatever. Like it's not like guaranteed to be shiny or a hundo or whatever. So like the lucky trinket was what people wanted, and even then, a lot of people,
extra lucky trade.
It's one extra lucky trade, and a lot of people were voicing frustrations that they had to use it within a certain time period, because some people, like, even though they got that, they might not necessarily like have the trade that they want with who they're playing with, or maybe they're not playing with anybody, and they have this trinket and they're like, well, what am I gonna do?
Well, yeah, because at first I thought it wasn't a bad idea because because I was doing the Unova tour when I got my lucky trinket, and it was like, I mean, there's so many people who would encourage you to interact with people and do a trade right then and there. But then I didn't think about the global tour where some people might be playing by themselves, right? They're not playing with a bunch of people. Obviously, at the LA Unova tour, there's a bunch of people playing, so you're going to see people, right? So I do agree. I think like that part wasn't maybe the best, but I don't think it was a bad idea for them to introduce the lucky trinket. I think that's like more innovative.
Yeah.
I think the other problem is, regardless if it's the global tour or the in-person tour, a lot of the best parts of events were all additional paid add-ons. Like obviously Lucky Trinket and the Deluxe Pass for Victini for the global tour. But for the in-person one as well, like the best part about my weekend was doing raids because there wasn't too much going on for it. And I got like the Raid Lover Pass, but that was like additional, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks or something. And like you get 18 additional passes. But I'm like, well, I pretty much paid for my own pass. It's not like the additional passes aren't free. I just literally just paid for it right then and there. But that just add on to the actual event thing. And I don't know. I just felt, and I saw a lot of other people post about this too. I just felt like this event just lacked a lot of care, I guess, when building it out. Not to say that people that planned this event maybe didn't care or stuff like that, but I just think that it didn't feel as great as past tour events for whatever reason, and
it just didn't feel like there was anything to do.
It didn't make me want to play.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I played a little bit on Friday, right, at the in-person tour thing, played my park day Saturday, played only a little bit Sunday just to finish my pass because I was just like, I don't know what else to do. And then for the global tour, I was just like, I played a little bit, but like, again, it's just like, what am I
I did not play
I
the
didn't. I didn't.
full time
Yeah,
on each day. You know,
that's an
I
indicator, in
went.
my opinion, right? Because
Yeah, I
obviously,
went and did raids for like a
Mhm.
couple hours, and that was it.
not everyone has the time to play all day and stuff. But for people
Mhm.
that do have the time to play it and they still don't want to play it, something's wrong, in my opinion, right? It's like past like in-person events, right? Years past. We had so many years of this. A lot of the past in-person events, dude, you want to play the whole time from beginning to
Mhm.
end. I remember back in like Atlanta, I'd be like driving around Oakland Cemetery doing all these like rockets and stuff, and like they had like rocket days and all this stuff, and like you just want to catch everything. Like they're all really cool stuff.
Yeah.
They had like mini like Raikou and Suicune spawning and stuff, and like for the past year they had like random Latios and Latias spawning and stuff. Like what was even going on in this one? I don't know. It
Yeah,
was
nothing. Well, and it also like another indicator is like, are people making plans like
Yeah.
to play these
Yeah.
events like in any capacity? And most of the people that I play with were kind of just like, I don't know, I'm gonna wander around the park, like come find me if you want. You know, it's like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
no like planned meetups, no like community organizers like trying to get people to like come to campfire meetups or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Just
know. Maybe
yeah,
it's
just
like the generation Pokemon, but I feel like there's just something. A lot was lacking. I feel like,
yeah.
and
No. I don't think it was the generation.
yeah,
I think it was just like there was nothing unique about this event for people to engage in or like hunt for. You know, like sure we had some like we had the new Deerling Shiny released, but like there was just no other aspect other than like the rating for the new Kyurem forms that like was getting people excited.
yeah. We're I mean we're approaching like year 9 of Pokemon Go, right? Like I think
Mm-hmm.
like obviously there's only so many things that could keep people excited, but like this is arguably the second biggest event for Niantic every year after Go Fest. So if you're not getting people excited to go out and play the game, like I don't know. Like I'm always worried about retention for the game. Cuz I know for me, right? Like if I don't feel that enthusiastic about the game, and I've been playing for this long, I make content on it, like I know a lot of other people aren't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's always worrisome because, I think the game always has a lot of potential. And it's not like any dig at anyone at Niantic working on it because I'm sure they work really hard and stuff on these events, but it's just I think feedback is always important, right? Community
Yeah.
feedback is always important because we're not going to pretend like it was an amazing event when it wasn't, and even if you work hard doesn't mean the product necessarily is good, right? Like it's like if I do anything at like any of my jobs, if I'm doing a poor job, even if I put a lot of effort into it, if I did a poor job, I still want people to tell me so I could fix it for next time, right? Like it doesn't matter how hard I worked. At the end of the day, if the end result was not as intended, I need to do better next time, right? And
Yeah.
I just hope that they hear some of that feedback, and I'm sure they see it. I just don't know if they hear it, but it's a different story to expect them to acknowledge it. So that's not standard from Niantic's end. Once in a while, they'll write something like that, but more communication on that front and just admitting like, hey, look, we know we didn't put on the best event. We'll do better next time. Look, that message would go like a
Such
million
a long
miles.
way.
It will. And the odds of them writing that, super slim. But
next 2-0.
yeah, and I think the thing I also worry about is like they look and they see the metrics and it's like, oh, a lot of people still spent money on this stuff, so it might be a good event. But just because they spent money doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, you could just look at playtime for the players, man. That might be a much better indicator. But
I think so too.
all right. Well, anyway, let's go into the YouTube comments. We've ranted enough about multiple T topics, and I feel a little better about everything. Maybe not the Pikachu. Yeah. Let's talk about some Podbean comments because Jen has left some.
By some, you mean Jen?
some Podbean comments left just from Jen. Anyway, so Jen says I left 3 comments in last week's episode. RCS was so fun. Alpha Pokemon music. I'm in danger. Oh yeah, for the RCS. ZA coming out, and yeah, and then she also said, haha, who's targeting me? Yes.
Oh yeah, because remember I was talking about how we were playing the game at the same time with voice chat on, so that even though we were running around different areas, like we would every once in a while, one of us would be like hear the music change and be like, wait, who's targeting me? And you just run around. Yeah, Jen was on that call.
That's good times. I really hope they have some type of multiplayer aspect to it, even if it's like Scarlet Violet versus just like 4 people running around in the same area. That'd be really cool. And then General says, oh my god, Caleb, if you had gotten a shiny from your stored scatterbugs. Look, maybe I got one person fooled. Maybe Jen was like, we're like, wait, maybe he's telling the truth. This made me hopeful.
She's too good for that.
Yeah, my lying wasn't the best. All right, and then we got some YouTube comments from that same episode. Scorpic says, I get why the stadium wants you to have a see-through backpack, but why the actual blank do power bank size matters? That's just bullying. Thanks for a great show. Says Scott. Yeah, so appreciate the comment, Scott. Yeah, I don't know why. I personally didn't bring my big power bank because I was scared that it would trigger stuff. I went through the metal detectors in my small one, and everything didn't set it off. So I think if I had a big one, I might have had to. And then I just did not want to have to wait in line, and do all that again. So that was the reason why I didn't. But I don't know. It's just things to keep in mind for next year. Maybe just everyone have I have my plastic see-through bag now, at least for future sake. But man, that backpack's uncomfortable. It was like the straps were like super small. I felt like I was just like getting like choked in the shoulders the entire time.
Did you get a children's backpack?
No, it was an adult one, but maybe it was not made for adults because I had the straps like as wide as possible and it's like still tight.
They we do have our timing and locations for the Go Fest coming up this summer, so it would be worth anticipating that might be something you might need to invest in if you're going to one of those as well.
Well, hopefully they announce it way ahead of time. I mean, again, I believe Niantic when they say that they want to announce it sooner, but they just didn't.
Yeah.
So I fully trust that that's how it went, but yeah. Okay, 8th grade says, LMAO, I tried to sneak in a second battery pack because I had a USB-A port, which I needed to charge my friend's phone, who asked me to play for him because he couldn't attend, but already bought the ticket. I tried to hide my other charger by slapping it on the back of my phone with MagSafe, but the tryhard security stopped me when I was about to walk in. I tried to play off the MagSafe as a phone cooler, but they didn't buy it. So, rip my friend's battery throughout the event and my 6-year-old charger. Didn't bother checking it in since there was a line. It was a risk to try to sneak it in, but they're still cringe for limiting the charging packs. LMAO at the Montoya reference. I'm rooting for my boy to get revenge. You'd have thought Montoya's girl and the guy were playing GBL back in the day with that button mashing. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so... Wait, so 8th grade, did you lose your battery pack? Did they, confiscate it?
I'm sure that they made him check it and that he had to come back and get it
Well, he said didn't bother checking it in since there was a line.
Oh.
Maybe. It was a risk to try to sneak in, but they're still cringe. So I think they just confiscated it.
Yeah.
There was a line of check-in stuff to it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't want to waste time to check it in, then yeah, that's a RIP.
Yeah. RIP not just to the friend, but also the battery pack. Okay, well, anyway, and then from comments from our last week's episode, we have Bish Lasagna saying, the fact that Niantic changes the legendary's level from research counter without giving people a heads up and just letting us find out is just bad business model. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
They didn't do that for the Pikachu stuff too. And also that means that moving forward, all encounters are going to be level 20. No explanation or reasons. And to top it off, this past global tour was horrible in shiny rates. I did over 80 Kyurems a day 2 and got 0 shiny. That was not only me, my whole community was complaining of the same thing. You know what? That's right. And hopefully this T segment is resonating with you and many others. Now, on the positive thing, I'm so glad to see Mr. Goku back. Missed those episodes where he goes on a crazy story and rambles for hours just to contradict himself or even get proven wrong by the end of it. But he's a pretty chill guy and has a nice aura. Looking forward to more episodes like this. P.S. I hope Tristan's audio/PC is working this week. I think it was. I noticed that there was maybe a 1 or 2 second delay, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, no. I think without his camera, it is actually better.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the biggest factor is probably his Ethernet that he got too, because I think that definitely
that makes a huge difference as well.
Yes, it did. And then PPC, last comment to respond to from the episode because he wasn't on it, but he said, to back myself up, sometimes when you open Twitter, it will force you back to the For You tab, and obviously Montoya was at the very top, so I did see it. It's also one of the big reasons why I stick to the following tab, because I know I'll get sucked in. See, you see it, but you had to watch that whole clip to even know what was going on, right? Because otherwise you just see some guy screaming in Spanish and you don't know what's going on. My man definitely was curious enough to watch it. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, that's going to do it for our comments. Appreciate you all, and let us know your thoughts on our T topic, the new season, all that stuff, your own guesses on Community Day, and how I probably was very wrong about mine. They're all going to steal my answer for June.
It's true.
That's the question, though. If everyone goes for that in June, What happens?
We all get points, and you lose.
What do you mean? Why would I lose?
You don't give me points.
Wait, why can't I? No. In June, if I guess the same thing.
You want to reuse your guess? Well,
of course.
We gotta leave that up to the council.
No. There's no rules against not picking the same thing. But also, like, the thing is, like,
we don't know. We didn't make this game. We gotta know if Caleb can use the same.
No, that was not established ahead of time, because then I'd be much more picky about like what I'd be picking. But I think the thing is also, what happens? We all guess the same thing. That we just. I mean, does someone want to risk it? Just, I don't know.
Everybody gets the points.
For 80%, 75% of my Arctibags. That's kind of
no.
crazy.
I assume that we would all guess the same thing, and we all just get the points, since it's a points-based thing and not like a win.
Yeah, there's no one transfers that week, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Anyway, that does it for us. Thanks all for joining in, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Be sure to catch Sway Coco for Community Day. All right. Peace out.